historical topics than loner boxes here, you know? Like, it's great. It's great to see.
Means you think I'm less urgent about stopping the problem. I don't know why you think that.
Because
Well,
you're
because-
demonstrating that.
Because you.
Because you're
Because-
shoehorning.
What?
Because you're shoehorning, right?
Oh my gosh! We said what at the same time. Okay, Demon Mama, I will just. We will do um, we will do the classic thing and we will just react to Demon Mama's reaction to this, okay? I reacted to Demon Mama's reaction to DJ Muel, so I guess it's becoming a tradition for me to react to, because I cannot find the direct material for this. So I will just have to react to my mother. Mother! What happened, mother? Because as we have established on a past stream, Demon Mother has adopted me. Mother! I listen to Mother. Full screen, Mother. Mother dear. So the person speaking now is Loner Boss. Loner Boss is generally speaking like this mostly progressive person that usually has pretty good opinions on things and usually debates people like bigots, right? So this is a bit of like a disappointing moment for Loner Box to have taken this sort of stance when it comes to. And this person is basically a trans person who is like discussing with him that a trans genocide is happening and that she's genuinely just terrified of it, you know? So we have set the stage. Like, and keep in mind, okay, we will get to it when we get to it, okay? But it will depend on the parameters, as Demon Mama is about to say, because the genocide against the Jewish population basically started, and it is widely agreed that it has started in 1933, when first Jewish people were being step by step denied access to basic things like you cannot sit on these benches, you cannot enter these public spaces, which interestingly enough reminds me of how trans people are being treated right now in certain societies. You cannot enter these public spaces, you know? Taking away rights step by step is basically our steps to genocide, yeah, you know? Taking away people's, a whole group's ability to function and live normally, you know? So, and keep in mind, I know that this seems like some appeal to, I don't know what, authority or whatever, but actual survivals of Auschwitz-Birkenau, of the Holocaust, say that they see the same thing happening when they observe how minorities are being treated, like the LGBT, you know? Yeah, I actually do not care as much as well, you know? For me, it's like, to me, what matters more is like the effect of what's happening, right? More than the technicality of something meeting a very specific definition. Because things like that are unironically being used to deny that, for example, the Great Hunger in Ukraine happened. We get then videos like those from Bar Empanada that say that Holodomor was not a genocide. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Obsessive Forge. Like, the Jewish question, like, is that thing that is, yeah, it has staying power, you know? But to me, it's like, to me, it just shows that it just makes me want to push for what I'm pushing even more, for solidarity across group lines, you know? Across identities, you know? It just makes me want to push for that solidarity even more, you know? Does that make sense? Does that appeal to any of you? Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my mind, this is why we have intersectionality, right? To understand that things intersect and that we are in it together, you know? And I will tell you right now, law is not the ultimate arbiter of what's good. Law can be horrible, okay? We had horrible laws historically, and we have to fight to abolish those laws. So just because something is lawful, quote unquote, it doesn't mean that it's good. Laws can be horrible. Yeah, exactly. You're learning Obsessive Forge to summon Shiva. Step by step, taking away the ability for a group to be able to function within a society. And this is like, the term is like to choke a group out, right? To basically, like, it, this is like, those are very historically demonstrated signs of genocide. And I would also say that this is a thing that is basically being, no, not basically, that is absolutely being done all over the place against the Romani people. The Romani people are one of the most persecuted and, I would say, culturally genocided people right now. You know? It's true, understanding of genocide were abysmally short-sighted, and even the definition the UN works with today is woefully inadequate. That's right, you know? Like, in my mind, it doesn't, like, I think it's really bad when we start treating people as just numbers, and when we actually start arguing about technicalities of terms instead of wanting to address the fact that people are being systematically destroyed, basically, you know? They've been hanging on a technicality regards to the Uyghur crisis. Literally, they won't call in a genocide because China doesn't limit their doing it. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's really, really bad because it does lead to people being just treated as bunch of numbers. You know, it's just treated as my like rant before the video starts. Okay, this is my pre-video rant. So we start the video again, and then we will actually hear what Demon Mama has to say about this, okay? Let's treat this like as an, like the intro to the whole thing, okay? Because, yeah, I think I've actually said a few things, so it's okay. We didn't like, it's not a strategy. I should buy you some more spells, Obsessive Farge. Like, you deserve more.
All right, let's listen to this. Let's hear what everybody's got to say here.
The sign of whether or not it was intentionally targeted at one particular group. You know, like people in Russia were starving, people in Kazakhstan were starving, and there's like, so you get into like a really murky territory. And if you look at the cases of the Srebrenica massacre in Bosnia, the way that was determined to be a genocide, there's all kinds of like thresholds that had to be met. They had to show like some of the evidence included they were bringing grave digging machinery. They were bringing like machinery.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can see, like as I've said
Okay.
to this, like just because something meets the criteria of law or doesn't, it doesn't mean just because something is written in law, it does not mean that it's good. Like we should always remember this, that law can be bad in fact. Like redlining was not good because it was part of the law, okay? Historically, many times we had to fight and abolish bad laws. So appealing to legality of something is not exactly the best route necessarily to go down. I think in real life you would summon like the... Do you mean from existing Final Fantasy summons? You would definitely summon Alexander. I think you would summon Alexander. You know? Alexander fits you. Do you think? Do you not think? Like Alexander? Do you know Alexander the summon? I will show you.
It's
Like,
gonna depend on the.
yeah, exactly. Gender is cringe. We should free ourselves of it and just live our own individual experience. But yeah, okay, let's continue with the loner box because we went for a chat tangent. This is going to be a tricky edit, okay? This is going to be a very tricky editing endeavor.
The parameters of the discussion, but I don't really care all that much about whether or not it meets the definition, the UN definition of genocide.
Yeah.
The UN definition.
I really like what Demon Mama is saying here because I actually don't really care if something meets like a specific definition either, you know? Like, it's not actually... Like, we should not really not look at things this way. That this is like... Yeah, we were, like... So, I have to say that Demon Mama has a lot of, like, really good takes, you know? You should all subscribe to Demon Mama. I will definitely plug her thing in the final edit of the video. We shall do it, like in the YouTube options.
Genocide is obviously incredibly stringent because the UN is attempting to determine, but in conflicts between multiple nations, which nation has violated international law.
Right.
So I don't think that's what most people are talking about or care about.
And once again, law is not the be-all and all of what is correct. Okay? Like, it is not. It's demonstrably not.
They're talking about whether or not we are in the midst of a trans genocide. Most of the time, what people are talking about when they're referring to a trans genocide is that there is a process of continued legal, social, and physical marginalization that is actively attempting to force trans people out of public life, to damage their health, and to restrict their access to needed supplies, whether that's medicine, food, jobs, or whatever.
So basically, step by step making it impossible for them to live in society, just as I've said before.
That's usually what people are talking about when they're talking about a genocide, not whether or not whether or not it represents a UN legal definition of a genocide.
Exactly.
But it might even. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Here we go, the UN.org.
Okay.
The crime of genocide. Let's take a look. Definition. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial or religious group, such as killing members of the group, causing
Right.
serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on a group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to
basically,
another group. Okay,
It does
listen,
fit in many
guys,
ways.
let me just talk about something real quick before we get into this any further,
Okay.
because this is a topic I'm pretty fucking serious about. Right
Well, we
here,
should be serious about
this
it.
is on the law books in a lot of states. Many states in the United States still require that you get sterilized, that you have a sterilizing surgery in order to change your public-facing documents. AKA,
In Poland, you have to sue your parents.
you either leave yourself open to discrimination, explicit discrimination, obvious discrimination by having an ID, by having all of your paperwork not match who you are,
Right.
or you get sterilized. That, it alone, just that fact, the fact that there are numerous American states that have on the law books a requirement for sterilization fits this right here, okay? Forcibly transferring children of the group to another group, this is another one that is currently in attempt. Thankfully, this is not a legal clear area, aka despite the fact that people constantly try to have trans people's children taken away, they
Right.
don't always succeed, but they're
Well,
very
there's
much trying.
like, yeah, so intent is there. There we go.
Yeah,
We already established
hold on,
intent
let me
by demonstrating that alone. Like, people usually go to
There are,
legality to
in
try
the
to
state- in
downplay
the state
genocide.
that, in my home state, now this has changed since, but when I was getting my name changed, it was
Right.
required that I show proof of medical treatment. Now, thankfully, my doctor was willing to sign off on me having gotten medical treatment. The requirement is technically supposed to be for surgery, but my endocrinologist basically worded the letter vaguely enough that he never actually said that I got surgery, but he said that his medical opinion was approved. And that allowed
Right.
me to change my name. Now, this law has since changed,
It's a ridiculous
but
law.
that's literally, that's on the books in many states.
This is like the
So,
downside of law being...
Now, let's talk about
Like, I
some of
would
the
just
other
say
ones.
that this is the downside of law being state to state thing in the US, right? That you have that you do not have unified law. But it can also be a good thing because it means that when there is bigoted law, then it does not automatically mean that the bigoted law will become a universal thing across the whole country. So I guess this is like a bit of a double-edged sword, right?
Deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. Trans people have a highly disproportionate rate of on-the-job discrimination.
True.
They have a highly disproportionate rate of mental.
Actually, up to it, even putting aside the on-the-job discrimination, trans people have a higher rate of not being hired in the first place. Like, being discriminated on the job doesn't mean anything if you cannot even get hired.
Health of homelessness. They have a highly disproportionate rate of untreated mental illness. They have a
True.
highly disproportionate rate of being disowned by their family.
Right, and kicked out on the
This
street.
is supported. And
Homelessness.
by the way, once again, this is supported not only socially, which is very important, but also legally.
Yeah.
Not only, I mean, trans people, it's only been since Joe Biden was elected that trans people were even allowed back into the military. They were banned explicitly from the military, What kind of a message does that
And
send?
people tried playing defense for that as well by saying that it was a matter of trans people not being able to pass the test. When Demon Mama in a debate clearly said that her friend was already in the military, already passed all of the tests, and after the ban was just fired because of being trans. Even though the friend was doing a great job in the military before the ban and before being fired.
About discriminating against trans people?
So it was
What
just discrimination.
kind of effect? Yep, here you go. Here's another example.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you very much for that,
They
Anonymous
do.
Platypus.
Exactly.
Exploring trans people's experience
They
of
do
adoption
screen
and
for it.
fostering in the United Kingdom. This is in the UK, not the US, but that's okay. I think they're talking about both. Oh yeah, and not to mention, by the way,
Like, the genocide of trans people is a very, very international problem, okay? It's like, it's not a problem that's limited to one country, keep in mind. Because bigots and far-right politicians from other countries will look at the US and they will they will think to themselves, wow, we can do the exact same thing in our country. And they do. Like, it already is beginning to show its ugly face in Poland.
in the UK, there are there is a high level of media attention given to people who
Gender
explicitly
critical,
state that they
quote
want to
unquote.
reduce the number of trans people.
Yeah. So it's like,
Of course, I don't even need to go into the unbelievably disproportionate rate of violent crime done against trans people.
yeah. And do I even have to go into the whole trans panic defense that was accepted in courts? That if someone found out that the other person was trans, it was accepted as an acceptable defense in court, that they just panicked because of it and felt threatened and murdered the trans person? Like, do we even have to go into that?
Okay, so let's get back to this. Let's listen to this conversation. I didn't expect us to have this stuff, but whatever.
We're digging holes, and the generals couldn't explain why they brought it there. They have quotes of people talking about, we take revenge on the people who stole our land and all that stuff. So I think when you use the term genocide, I don't really know exactly. I think if we're just going pure descriptivism, I don't think it's enough at all. I think if we're talking about rhetorically, I think there are sometimes people have used the word genocide to be rhetorically effective. I think that's understandable in cases. I think when it comes to the case of trans issues in America, I just don't know.
So if the state is trying to...
There are currently... Wait, do we not remember that just this year, Greg Abbott passed laws criminalizing
like, we have, like, I keep reading about laws in the US that would ban things like social transition, that would criminalize parents who affirm their children, who would criminalize teachers who affirm their students, who would try to go after doctors. Like, this is ridiculous.
People taking their kids to get medically necessary, deemed medically necessary trans healthcare? Does that not extremely easily fit the definition?
It does.
UN definition
Yeah,
of
it
genocide?
does.
Force, deliberately putting people in the position that they, what's the, hold on, I just closed the fucking window. I want to make sure we're being very careful with the wording here since this is the topic.
240 anti-trans bills in 2022 in the US, yeah. Like, we should keep, like, talking about it. We should just really keep being very loud about this, because people try to downplay it. Especially those who have no skin in the game. Like, and this also brings me back to the talk about solidarity. Just that people, just because things do not affect them directly, think that they can be less involved or care less. And we should not. We should care about issues as if they were affecting us directly, as if they were hurting us directly.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me just read this one more time. Deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part.
There you
Does
go.
not
It
passing
fits.
laws that criminalize
The
parents
answer is
for
yes,
taking their
of
children to
course.
get medically necessary medical care based on political means fit that definition?
It
I
does,
think
of course.
that fits the definition explicitly. Not to mention the fact that now states like Florida, for example, have put
It
into
is.
position
It is the
laws
whole
that
point.
involve checking.
But we should be more explicit about it, you know. I think we should go further than the poem. We should go further than the poem. We shouldn't be saying first they come for, okay? Like, we should be saying if they come for them, they are coming for us. We are them and they are us. It's not first they come for. If they are coming for them, they are coming for us because they are one of us, you know? They are literally coming for us. There is no them.
Forcing cis people to track their periods in order to guarantee that trans people cannot participate in gendered activities such as sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excluding,
Exactly.
like excluding trans people out of school activities that are not some hardcore competition. They are designed for health. They are designed for young people to develop more healthily because of taking part of physical activities. That is what sports at school is designed to do. It's not designed to be some cutthroat competition. Like, this is like another thing to add. And some countries have actually abolished gendering sports. Some schools in some countries have decided, you know what? Girls and boys can just play football together. And by football, I mean soccer.
The Texas CPS go after families that had trans kids. Yes, it literally required federal intervention to make that happen. Like, to stop that from happening. Greg Abbott was literally telling CPS people not to officially record it in case federal attention came in. They were going after families. There were families with trans kids that fled the state because of that. And even yes, exactly. I know that some groups.
And in Poland, some unironically, parents of trans kids in Poland ask themselves, because you cannot run to another state in Poland. In Poland, those things are countrywide. So there are parents of trans children in Poland that seriously ask themselves, should I leave the country in order to be able to give my child a life they deserve? You know?
Still doing it. Texas is in a hell state right now. Anyway, let's continue.
If the state does two things, with state power directly naming, saying trans kids must be taken away from their parents, plus we're going to now introduce laws to eliminate people's ability to get insurance for transition-related care, and then, move up from there to make it functionally more difficult to exist as a trans person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
She's saying it like it is.
Surely you could at least infer that the intent is there, right?
Yeah, of course. The intent is absolutely
intent's there. Yeah, lots of people have like what I would call.
I know this debate, and right now Loner Bucks is saying the intent is there, but later he will say that it's not there.
Genocidal intent.
If it's not genocidal, yeah, lots of people have intent, but then you need.
Including, by the way, the entire GOP. The GOP's official platform is anti-trans. The GOP's official platform is anti-trans. The GOP's leaders are all jumping on board, calling trans people groomers.
Yeah,
they don't even use the word trans people anymore.
And the language of calling someone groomers is, of course, it's obviously designed to make the general public anti-trans as well. It's to normalize thinking of trans people as awful abusers who deserve their fate, who deserve being erased. That is what the goal is, to normalize negative thoughts about trans people.
Anymore. They just say,
Just like, by the way, it's being normalized to be bigoted against Jewish people in many places. In many places in the world, anti-Semitism is baked into the language, literally. I had to explain to some of my friends that some of the things where they were saying were anti-Semitic in nature, and they didn't even realize it. Like, once they realized it, they were like a bit shocked and like they just cut it out of their vocabulary like right away, you know. Not to mention the normalization of the treatment of the Romani people in Europe. Like, these things like are very dangerous and lead to genocidal action. Like when genocidal action becomes like sort of horribly and terrifyingly normalized in societies, you know? Like calling trans people groomers, calling the Romani people thieves and bandits, calling black people like thugs and gangsters and such. Like, it's normalizing bigotry among society, you know? And it should be, we should not stand for it.
the liberal groomers. They've replaced.
Yeah, they did. They have. Exactly. Yes, they have. But with the Jewish people, it was a longer process, you know? With the Jewish people, it was the process before World War I, when the nation state of Germany was forming. There was a rise of a very specific bad combination of nationalism, anti-Semitism, eugenics, and many other factors that led to this mix of horrible ideas, you know? Like, it's a very long topic that I can get into, and I will probably get into in the future.
In the GOP's lexicon, they have replaced the word LGBT with groomers. That is so fucked up. That is such a level of high level genocidal intent.
Yeah.
From the mouths of one of the two parties in America.
The thing to actually, so I think as far as I know with Texas, this stuff changes a lot.
So you're not willing to call it a genocide until the genocide happens, until people start what? Like, when is it going to be an actual genocide where it's, you're cool with calling it a genocide? How many people have to...
This is the case with any genocide, right?
No, it's not the case with any genocide. We've already given the example of the genocide against Jewish people. It is widely accepted that the genocide against Jewish people began in 1933 when Jewish people were, when Germany started negating rights to Jewish people one by one, okay? So he's not being correct here.
Don't call it a genocide until it's actually happened, right?
Is it the camps? Like when is it going to be enough to say it's... I mean, like it seems to me that you're giving too much room to say that what's going on right now is not the beginnings of a genocide, right? You're saying there's not enough genocidal activity.
It's not just the beginnings. It's not just the beginnings.
Exactly.
It's only very recently that any attention has been paid to the fact that trans people are often forced to go to be, when they're arrested, like if a trans person is arrested for a crime, trans people are most frequently forced to go into prisons that are the opposite the opposite gender of what they identify as. AKA, they're forced to go into a prison that matches their birth certificate, regardless of their current state, which always puts them in danger. That in and of itself qualifies.
Lonerbox is being extremely incorrect here. Factually incorrect.
I think it was a mistake to say that we should only that I don't know I don't know what this person's pronouns are. I think they I'll just use they for now. I think it was a mistake for them to say like, oh, well, what are we supposed to wait until it happens? It is happening.
Yeah, it is
There
happening.
are qualifiable aspects going on right now in the United States, in multiple states, that absolutely qualify as genocide. Trans people are marginalized and forced into positions that we have documented data of the increased mortality rate,
And raise your
of the
uncles.
increased rate of poverty, of the increased rate of addiction by trans people, because trans people are forced out of society.
Yeah. Like, Demon Mama is being
Okay,
correct.
she,
in
her.
base.
Okay, I'll use that. for now.
Going on yet for me to be comfortable saying it's a genocide, but like
Demon Mama is being correct. Mother is being correct. Listen to Mother. And Lonerbox is being incorrect.
like would the Nuremberg laws have been enough, even though maybe there wasn't enough like relocation of Jews in Germany? Like the beginnings of a genocide, of course, there's going to be people that deny it's going on, but I don't want you to be one of them, is what I'm saying. I guess that's my point.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, of course of course a thing has to happen before it's a genocide. Okay, like yeah. Otherwise, it's not a genocide. Otherwise, you can call it like a build-up. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I don't know, I'm gonna start taking notes because there was quite a lot in there. Can you just go back to the second last thing you said? I can't remember. Fuck.
Well, I was trying to analogize to like so I don't know the exact details of how the
Also, I don't like this. Like, this is like a very Stephen thing to do. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, okay? I'm reading it too much, but this feels like a weird Stephen-like little strategy to do, to say, oh my god, you're saying so much here, I have to take notes. If you feel the need to take notes, just quietly start taking notes. You do not have to announce loudly that you are starting to take notes because someone is quote unquote saying so much, okay? There is no need. You will not get a medal for taking notes. Just start taking the notes. You know? Just take notes if you feel the need to. Don't bash the other person saying, oh, I'm taking notes now. There we go. Also, yeah, we agree that we call genocide when it happens, but you do not agree that it's happening, and it is. And yeah, we'll just see.
happened on or about the time
Oh, sorry,
like the
sorry, sorry.
Nuremberg
I
laws.
remembered. Oh, yeah, I remembered. So, with that definition of them trying to, I guess, to erase the identity, which I absolutely think they're trying to do. If you want to call it like trans erasure, and by the way, I think trans erasure is incredibly fucking alarming, and that that's what, yeah. And I think, especially with America and all the Tennessee laws and all that, like I don't.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to get out of the way, if we're arguing over terminology with genocide, I don't think that makes me any less alarmed than anyone else. Okay, this is about terminology.
It absolutely does make you less alarmed because you're downplaying it. Like you're literally saying we should use a less scary term. Erasure is just one of the avenues of destruction here. Yeah, exactly. It's downplaying it. Like, it's really downplaying it.
When it comes to calling it a genocide, I think with your definition, then you could call
exactly.
so many things a genocide. You could call the treatment of British Muslims a genocide, right? Or at least the early stages of a genocide, because they do things like they try to do like secularization. Like if you want to be a British citizen, you have to like demonstrate things like you have to swear allegiance to the Queen and do all these things that might be like against
So
that's not even close to the same.
Yeah.
Trans people's entire lives are
being
impeded
yeah,
legislatively.
exactly.
Every single trans person I know has met some roadblock, some legal roadblock in getting the medical health care they need. That's not the same thing. I do agree there is egregious discrimination against British Muslims, but that's not even close to this. Swearing allegiance to the Queen is not the same fucking thing. Not even
Yeah.
close.
Like, is
Nuts
this a
says,
joke?
memes aside, Lonerbox is like an actual leftist. He should be better than this.
Yeah.
Killjoy.
That's
40K.
that's the sad thing about it. That like Loner Box is like a leftist and usually does discourse for progressive like causes, you know. So this is like a disappointing thing, you know, a really disappointing thing. Yeah, it does. Yeah, but the sad thing that he is, like, you know, I would not have pegged him as one as well. I would just say that he doesn't care, and that is like a really sad thing. You can't use this term, it applies too broadly. What if everyone was actually doing genocide? Should we then narrow the definition again? Imagine if someone used this argument for racism during slavery. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure someone would. I'm sure some people would.
He says what Lonerbox is doing is similar to what Nazis do with Holocaust denial. I don't think he's doing
Yeah.
it deliberately, but he's made a goalpost that can't be met except in hindsight. Meaning nothing is a genocide
Exactly.
until
You cannot just do hindsight 2020. You cannot. Like, this is like ridiculous.
after it's already too late. Yeah.
Faith, or they'll actually detain kids for having like Arabic writing on their T-shirts because they think that because
Fucking terrible.
a teacher thought it looked like a terrorist symbol.
Like, I'm not really satisfied with the hindsight 2020 approach, okay? Also, speaking of shirts, okay, this is like a bit of a stun lock, but I saw, because I'm getting more in touch with the Polish LGBT and progressive Twitter, of the Polish one, and one girl wrote an interesting tweet that they have like a like there's like interesting thing that she wrote on Twitter, that she has a friend who is like a Muslim, you know, and he has like a writing on his shirt, you know, Arabic text, and she asked him what the writing says, and he says, the writing on my shirt says, it doesn't matter what this writing says. What matters is that you are afraid of it. You know? And she said that she was like left really, that it left a big impact on her. Like that she was, that she really was thinking about it a long time after reading it, you know? Like that the text in Arabic said, it doesn't really matter what this says. What matters is that you are afraid of this, you know? Interesting, huh? Interesting indeed. Also, I, as the history nerd, pointed out in replies that the fact that Polish people are fear-mongering about Muslims is very ironic, because during the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and Poland is one of the successors of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, in theory at least, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had a native Muslim population in it, and there are direct Polish language teachings of Islam directly transcribed into Arabic script, and those writings still exist. So this is pretty, how should I say, ironic, okay? And the and that community, the Muslim community in Poland, still exists, that actually hails from the Muslim population of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Okay? Yeah, 14 centuries of design and cultural artifacts just relegated to terrorist symbols. And also a linguistic. I just did a historical tangent, and now I am about to do a linguistic tangent as well, okay? Um, the Hebrew alphabet, the alphabet that a lot of Europe and the US uses, and the Arabic script all share the same roots, okay? They all came from the same pictures that became those alphabets. So those all of these alphabets share the same roots. Okay, so we did a historical tangent and a bit of a linguistic one as well. There you go. Nice. We are learning today. I am transforming the content. I am adding value. Nice.
right? So they will do lots of crazy shit, but again,
Also, Arabic alphabet is actually really beautiful. I would like to learn it at some point.
like, we don't call it a genocide, and we don't really need to fight it. You know?
Well, so
We do,
I'm not going to
actually.
address exactly that point because I don't know enough about it. But let me tell you this: the reason why we say that transphobes assert that we don't exist is because they attempt to erase who we are. You know,
Yeah.
who we are like as people, and
Yeah.
and say they and to just claim that we are at best they'll claim we're something we're not. At worst, they will just
Say
make it so that
groomers.
life is unlivable
Yeah.
for us. And so I think denying somebody's religion is you could, I don't know if you need to, but you could certainly distinguish denying somebody their right to free expression of religion to denying somebody
Their
their
free
right
ex-
to exist such
yeah.
that their mental health will certainly be or life will essentially be unlivable by design.
Yeah.
Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I guess you can say that with, that's what happens with, say, like the cultural genocide that's happening in China, is they're taking Muslims and taking them into re-education.
Hey,
Well, yeah, you could say that, and I think you should. Okay? You can and should say that. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. China is committing genocide. That's right. Wow.
what's going on in China is a genocide. It's not just a cultural genocide.
Yeah.
In China, there are deliberate attempts to reduce the population, to control
Yeah.
the population, to literally reduce childbirth.
Exactly.
Like, there was a number of examples of this, of them pressuring
Yeah.
Muslim
Like,
people, Uyghur Muslims.
this is what happens. People downplay genocide. This is exactly what happens when people just turn, like when in debates and discussions, people's lives are being turned into numbers and technicalities, you know? The Uyghurs aren't facing just cultural genocide, they're facing generational erasure. Everyone in Stephen's orbit turns into a genocide denier. Like, I really am starting to believe that. Like, this is like really disappointing.
Pressuring them to get, or either forcibly sterilizing them in camps, or and also heavily pressuring them to get their to get sterilized, or to get sterilized of their own volition under
Yeah.
incredible duress.
Of their own volition, quote unquote. Through similar tactics of making life unlivable and relocating people to forced assimilation. Assimilate or die. Yeah. And this is what happened to Native Americans in America as well, right?
We're doing Uyghur genocide denialism. No, I understand. It's funny. It is funny that like he's sliding back on his definition in other genocides in order to defend this position.
Yeah.
I tend to think Lonerbox is pretty well intentioned, but I feel like so far this is a miss.
Oh, yeah.
And sending them out
Okay.
as non-Muslims, like they dress like, they don't wear their veils anymore and things like that, and they they cook different food. Like,
Okay.
but again, that's like
Well, that's
state
not-
agents taking
that's
them into
bad.
camps and enforcing it. That's why that's a cultural genocide.
It's not just a cultural
yeah, again, like
genocide. That is just a normal genocide.
Yeah.
Deliberately erasing, moving people from one place to another, separating people from their families and their children in order to re-educate them is just a genocide.
Yeah.
folks assert that trans people don't exist. Again, like, so this.
I'm telling you, Demon Mama has really good takes. You know, Demon Mama has really good takes. I'm telling you. Like, Mother, listen to Mother. You know, listen to Mother. You know?
I mean, does that mean that, I guess, up until
Hippie Punk says this is the same logic that Chomsky uses to say that Srebrenica wasn't a genocide, and what tankies used to blow off Xinjiang. This is not a road to go down. I agree.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think this is a mistake.
it is a mistake.
a certain point in the 20th century, then like homosexuality was.
Well, you have good
gay people
takes,
were being
Obsessive
genocided
Orange.
for the entire like.
What can I
10,000
say? You
years
just
of
have good
humanity or whatever
takes.
Before gay people started to get recognized, was that a genocide?
Do you think that okay, so say that the intent, so do you generally accept that the idea that transition related healthcare is important for trans people to live, you know?
Yeah, just out of interest, why do you think I would say no?
Wait. That isn't a... Okay, so just to be clear, as far as objective knowledge can go, we have had an abundance of studies that allowing trans people to transition absolutely
Improves.
increases
Yeah.
their likelihood of good mental health outcomes,
Yeah.
drastically reduces the rate of suicide.
Yeah.
Because, as it turns out,
Being
we
able
have
to be yourself.
documented evidence that trans people undergo extreme duress from having to live as a gender that they do not identify as.
Yeah.
That is like what trans 101. Okay?
I mean,
and
it's
not just a
like,
matter of trans 101, that's been well studied.
It's like being in a prison, right?
Killjoy says, my experience is with this is when people feel this way about genocide, it's generally because they have a mythology in their head about genocide where they can't imagine anything that is currently happening to be genocide, because genocides are what happen during other people's lifetimes.
Exactly.
Like,
I agree with
they have
this.
some control over the world while they're alive and could still slice through the propaganda and see what's happening if it was in their lifetime. Yeah.
I agree with this. Like, people really take this approach of, this could never happen here. This could never happen now. We are past this, and this is simply not true. We are not past this. Like, if we do not actively fight, then it could happen again. And it's very, it is already happening again. Like,
Well, because I'm trying to understand why you would analogize.
and notice that this person is not, like, she's not exactly trying to score points, trying to dunk. She's just trying to plead her case, She's basically trying to make her case.
Is between a cultural genocide of religious people, which is bad, and I'm not even going to say that's not a genocide because it sounds genocidal. But I don't know enough about it to really debate the point. But I do.
And I really like it when people say, I do not really know enough on the subject to speak on it, Like, it's a good thing to do in general, to just say, I do not know enough about this. I will read more, learn more, and then we can possibly go back to this topic, right? Like, it's a, generally speaking, good thing to do. I don't know enough about this, instead of just jumping into a topic without, You have to either hide it or endure the scorn of the majority, yeah. And sometimes just hiding it can be very hard to endure because people will harm you without even knowing it. Because people, like, I honestly don't know why we haven't been beating the drum about the genocide of trans people. Some people have been, I think Vosh has been talking about it. But it's because many people do not share the experience of being trans, you know. Like some people just don't share the experience of being trans, and so they do not treat it as a thing that affects them, and so they are not as serious about it. And this is where I, for the millionth time, say we should not feel the need to feel the exact same experience, to treat it as if it was affecting us directly, you know? We really should not have this attitude. Like, we should have the attitude of absolute solidarity. We should transcend that saying, first they came for blah blah, then they came for blah blah, and then they came for us. No. When they came for them, they came for us, because there is no them. You know, there is no them, there is only us. Like, maybe that should be my new motto. There is no them, there is only us. We are all in this together. You know?
You know that denying trans people health care will kill them.
Understanding privilege and how you might lack a perspective does not equate to an inability to understand. Yeah. As soon as we start saying we can understand, we're given up. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's fair to say that the suffering of other people that do not share our experience is also our suffering. Not in the sense that we're trying to diminish their own individual experiences, but in the sense that we are willing to fight for them as if they were literally us. And I believe in that, you know? I think we should do that, you know?
And that's the intent, to kill trans people by making life unlivable.
And I'm hoping you all agree
Okay,
with
so
me.
then again,
The Donald Trump admin, do you guys remember when the Donald Trump admin published guides to the Health and Human Services? They published a memo to
You agree
the
with me, right?
official. I'm talking literally the Department of Health and Human Services that taught people how to spot trans women, to see if trans women were inappropriately going to women's shelters. Do you remember that? That was like,
This is actually a perfect example of trying to divide groups, weaken groups, and pick them out one by one. This is a perfect example of trying to break and destroy solidarity, okay, among people. Like, this is a really a good example of that, what Demon Mama is talking about here.
2 years ago that was on the books.
They're trying to pit
That,
people
in
against
and of
each other.
itself, and this isn't like just some people. That was the presidency, the president, the federal government published a memo teaching people how to spot so they could discriminate against trans women.
Also, I will just add into it that there have been many anti-Semitic publications in the past that would say basically how to spot a Jewish person. So this is like an equivalent, okay? I used to see publications in Poland as a small child that would say how to spot a Jewish person. Shark put up a video about how conservatives are at this point driven primarily by cruelty. I mean, he's correct. He's correct. Like, that is correct thing to say. They are.
Guys, I'm really unimpressed with Loaderbox's approach here, but
so
let's
now
give him
you,
a chance.
so when you say intent like that, it sounds like you are appealing to stay within like a definition. So yeah, I wouldn't.
So,
but again, like,
so would it
first of all,
be?
with religion,
Yeah.
just to be clear, I said what's happening to Muslims in the UK is not enough for a genocide. It's systemic discrimination. It's state, like, it's abusive and all that. Yeah. I said what happening in China is more clearly like cultural genocide because
There we go.
Here we go. Elements of the crime of genocide. This is from the official, by the way, UN.org. This is the official UN website. The popular understanding of what constitutes genocide tends to be broader than the content of the norm under international law. Article 2 of the Genocide Convention contains a narrow definition of the crime of genocide, which includes
Right.
two main elements. A mental element, the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial...
This already fits like the whole, transgenocide. We already can clearly see intent in here. This already meets the criteria.
or religious group as such. The entire GOP is on board with this. The GOP is one of two parties in the United States, and they were just in power, and they easily fit this. 2, a physical element, which includes the following 5 acts enumerated exhaustively.
Okay.
Killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or
Killing members of the group, the Trans-Panic Defense, basically that was protected by law. Already we have this. There we go. I would say that killing members of the group, that the Trans-Panic Defense squarely fits under this, okay? He claims that China is doing a genocide, but his logic doesn't actually support that claim. He makes all the arguments people make to deny the Uyghur. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births. There we go, right there.
Yep.
Forcibly transferring children of the group to another group.
There we go.
Sorry, that is the UN's most stringent definition of genocide, and we already are fairly within that.
Yeah, we are.
I
We could name-
I think Letterboxd is really
The
wrong.
We could game many examples.
Intent is there to destroy the religion. It's there, and the state.
It's
is
more than
actually-
about
The
religion.
intent
from my
is
eyes.
50% of the definition.
Yep.
A demonstrable intent. And keep in mind that the intent by the GOP goes way farther than what they've managed to succeed in law.
Oh yeah. I know that. Like, yeah, of course. And they will keep trying. God.
seizing people and putting them into education camps that they can't leave and forcing them to change their cultures. That's why
Conversion therapy is legal in many US states. Conversion therapy is legal.
Yeah.
the threshold is just so much higher. So that's why I'm kind of analogizing British Muslims more, because I don't think that's a genocide. But again, the intent to kill people,
my God.
that would put the burden on you. I don't think there's any written statements from people and saying that we're trying to get rid of trans healthcare or trans education rights and all that because we want to kill trans people, right?
You can,
is that
you
what it would
can,
take? The law would
you
have to
can demonstrate that. Yeah, I will make a case that you can demonstrate that, because what other reason would there be?
say we would like to, our goal is to kill trans people. That's
Well, you said that,
To
though.
be-
You said that the intent is there.
it.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Joy says, wouldn't half a genocide definition still pretty much qualify as a genocide? If you're planning on doing a genocide, means you should probably be treated as though you're about to commit a genocide? Yeah. That's why I'm saying that strict adherence to the
Like, I'm gonna go there right now. I'm gonna go there, okay? This is basically like the defense of Hitler that people make when they say Hitler, technically speaking, never wrote a single... Hitler never signed a single paper that was about the Holocaust. So there you go. This is on the same level. Technically speaking, Hitler never signed off on the Holocaust. This is literally the same logic. I'm gonna say it, okay? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You are correct, Obsessive Orange. This is correct to point it out.
UN definition is bullshit. Strict adherence to the UN definition here is only useful for the UN.
Yeah.
UN which is tasked with having to resolve national conflicts to
Exactly.
avoid war. That's not what anyone else is doing. The rest of us are trying to avoid being genocided.
Exactly. Well said, Demon Mama.
Absolutely fits the definition for every reason that any trans activist would have to call it a genocide.
Yeah.
It absolutely fairly meets those definitions. No trans activist is operating on the level of the UN. We're operating on the level of the United States and what we have going on in the United States, wherein there is both intent and examples of current laws that are doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much, worshiper of the Olympians.
Absolutely is.
Now
How
you're
could
saying
it
it's
not
not.
be? No, it absolutely is. For
Like, I'm gonna be a bit mean here, but Loner Box's attitude here is what allowed Hitler when the Nazi Party did their campaigning. Hitler actually ordered the party to tone down on the anti-Semitist rhetoric during the campaigning, and Loner Box's attitude is what would lead to people thinking, oh wow, guess the Nazi Party is not so anti-Semitic after all, because they toned down on their anti-Semitism rhetoric, right? So they must be okay. Like, this is, I don't know.
people, they want to kill us. They
legislators
want
right now,
to
like-
kill us. Yes.
Yeah,
How do you not know this? Yes, they do. They want to make it unlivable. That's what they did
yeah,
in Germany.
exactly.
You know,
Why do you think
Exactly, that is what they did in Germany. Like, poly person, yeah, this is like poly person. Poly person is being extremely correct here. That is literally what Germany did. It is. It is historically factually correct. Like, I implore you to watch the video that I've made about the Holocaust survivor speech. Like, I implore you to watch it. Like, he describes this point by point and says this is what's happening to minorities right now.
that okay, you guys saw the Trump rally that we watched the other day, right? Where they were screaming about how groomers are coming for your kids.
Yeah.
They don't discriminate between which trans people are the good ones and which are the bad. They're all, in their mind, groomers that
yeah.
are dangerous to your children. And what are you supposed to do as a good, upstanding Republican? Protect your children using your, what's the other thing they're obsessed with? The Second Amendment, using your guns.
Cambodia.
You should protect your children using your guns. That's what Republicans are saying at all times. And yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene has literally, I could go on about this forever.
Yeah, we could go about
Yes,
this.
I could go on about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
It is very depressing that we could actually go about this forever.
And the fact that she went on a popular news, one of the most popular news shows in the entire country, and talked about how
Yeah, exactly. A more proactive definition focuses on prevention instead of accusation. Like, I don't care about a definition that smugly goes that hindsight is 2020. Like, I do not care about the hindsight 2020 definition of genocide. Could have helped a better response happen sooner. You know, yeah, exactly. We want to avoid genocide. We don't want to smugly look back and say, oh yeah, this was a genocide. Like, this is a ridiculous attitude to have. I 1,000,000,000% agree. Yeah, exactly. The whole point of inventing the term was to catch it before it happens. Yeah, it does only help us smugly look back, and it's ridiculous. And that is sadly what Loner Bucks will do here. He will just look and be like, hindsight is 2020. Like, I don't care about hindsight 2020.
she would have her husband beat up a trans person for the crime of being at the same summer camp as her daughter. Have you ever debated a fascist? I'm not saying this to be antagonistic. I'm legitimately wondering. Yes, I have debated a fascist. I debated Big Papa Fascist on
Big Papa
trans
Fascist.
rights, actually. You can go look it up. If you look up Demon Mama. Big
Demon Mama
Papa
debated
Fascist,
mainly
you'll find
fascists,
that
actually.
debate. It's on my channel.
Okay.
That's not the only one
many,
either.
many
I've
Jews
debated
died
a
by
couple.
suicide because life became unlivable. That was part of the plan to get them to at least emigrate, to kill themselves before they started to come up with before they realized that solution wasn't going to be sufficient. Like, you have to look. They're not going to say our goal is to kill trans people. You have to infer intent from their actions. And to be honest, they are being more than clear to the average
Well,
person
that's
who's
why,
watching
and again,
what
with
their
what happened
intent
to,
is.
with what happened to the, with what happened in Germany, again, like that's why the genocidal intent, and scholars will say this, that you could say the build up to the genocide was all the way from the 30s up until 41.
Nope, that is not what the scholars will say. Scholars will say that it happened in the 30s. You are not well. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna do it right now. Okay,
41,
there we go. I think it's fair to Google it in Polish since a lot of the Holocaust did happen in Poland. There you go. Oh, wow! Oh, interesting. The very first sentence in here, let's make it big. When did the Holocaust happen? I am translating it from Polish in real time, okay? When did the Holocaust happen? Okay? It began in January 1933, when Adolf Hitler came to power, and it ended in 45, when Germany was defeated, okay? It does not say the build-up that the build-up to the Holocaust began in 33. No, it clearly says here the Holocaust began on January 1933. So, like, this is one of the things that really irritates me when people that really do not take time to learn basic history say very confidently really incorrect things. He doesn't know what genocide means. You didn't see it in this video, but in the preamble before this conversation, he wonders aloud what the UN definition is and speculates on the criteria without looking it up. I see. And the American perspective on it is usually warped by our extreme late entry and then making it all about the US. I've noticed this. I cannot say I have not noticed this. It didn't just start overnight. Yeah, I really welcome you. I'm promoting myself here, but I really welcome you to go to my channel, click videos, go back, okay? How far back do we have to go? Where is the video? And choose the video called, where is it? Where is the video? Do not be indifferent. Like, this is like my message to Loner Box. Do not be indifferent. Okay? And this was the message to from the Holocaust survivor. Do not be indifferent. It can happen here. Okay? Like, literally, it starts with him saying, I'm not gonna bore the young generation about the past. I'm not gonna talk to you what I went through. I am going, however, to tell you that what's happening right now is what's been happening in the past. Do not be indifferent. Boom. You should watch this speech. It is really telling. Loner bugs especially should watch this speech and think about it. You know? This is no joke.
the proof of genocidal intent, you would say legally or like to the definition,
Like, ridiculous to speak of legality. Okay?
wasn't there. The orders came from 41 onwards. That's like
Ridiculous! What? Like, do you see? This is, I'm sorry to say this, but this is historical illiteracy.
intent, you would say legally or like to the definition of the 30s up until 41. But until 41, the proof of genocidal intent, you would say legally or like to the definition, wasn't there.
This is historical illiteracy because once again, I googled on stream before you all. I googled Holocaust, and it clearly says the Holocaust started on January 33. Nobody disputes this. Nobody. Like, literally nobody disputes this.
The orders came from 41 onwards. That's
Also, I would remind you, and this is what dishonest people say. Like, there are Nazi types that literally say, wait a minute, technically speaking, no order for the Holocaust ever came from Hitler himself, because Hitler never signed off on any order personally. So there you go. You know, maybe that is like where the name came from. Like, this is like historical illiteracy.
that's like the whole discussion. Yeah.
So you're saying
No.
Germany?
Okay, this is so stupid.
It
He
is.
can't be this stupid.
No. Demon mother.
The Nazis
Mother
the
is being
Nazis were
mad.
pushing. The Nazis were. They
Mother
were
is
using
angry.
stochastic attempts. They were promoting the Nazis were promoting from the highest levels of government anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and the idea that
Yep.
that hidden among the populace were anti-German Jewish people. They were doing this all along. It wasn't just because they took full power in 1941. They were doing the same thing the
They did not take full power in 1941. They took full power in 1933, but yeah. I think this was just a misspeak, to be honest.
GOP is doing now. They just weren't in power yet. Holy
Like,
shit,
the
man.
Holocaust started in 33 in full. Yeah, it did. And nobody will dispute this. Like, this is... Like, I didn't think... Like, I thought that I would not have to focus my history content on World War II era that much, okay? That I would not have to go into World War II. I thought World War II was a pretty exhausted and well, like, sort of talked about topic. But it weirdly seems that I might actually have to commit some time into explaining the Holocaust to people. Like, what? Like, I didn't see this coming. He's creating parameters that would make it very trivial to deny the Holocaust. If Hitler didn't give the order, suddenly his criteria for genocide wouldn't be met. Like, and Hitler did not give the order, mind you, not officially anyway. Let me see. Evidence of Hitler's direct responsibility for the premeditation. There you go. Will it be said here? Critics of the idea that Hitler personally developed the instigated the final solution generally point to the absence of Führer's signed decree ordering this genocidal campaign as evidence for their position. There you go. People do this. People unironically do this. You know? Basic optics games work on people to make them think seriously, oh, Hitler probably just didn't know. You know? Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
This is so disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
extremely anti-Semitic sentiments exist in Germany for decades. Yes, and in the government as well. Nuts. The intent. Yeah, exactly. You're 100%.
Also keep in mind, and this is a tangent and it has nothing to do with this, but we actually distinguish between the older type of discrimination against Jewish people and the newer thing that is linked to the formation of the nation state called anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism as a term was created in the 19th century, which is an
Okay, so based on what just
which is an interesting topic, but this is an interesting topic, but it's not really connected to anything we're talking about now, so we will leave it for now. Okay? It becomes so much easier if you only have a basic grasp of the history, or you've just picked it up over time from media. Yeah, I think we should sit down and do a plan of how we want to address history, you know? I think I want us to do a little bit of a sit down and plan out our coverage of history when it comes to the Lucy Haze platform, you know? I think it's worth doing. I think it's important, you know?
Right on.
To create this like a thing that we will make for people to be able to access and a very in a very accessible way, right? We have to think about it, because this is terrifying from a leftist, you know? This is terrifying from a leftist. This sort of attitude towards history and towards what's been happening during World War II, you know?
Was not guilty of genocide until 1941.
Of the crime of genocide, they wouldn't.
Yeah,
have...
they were exactly. Thank you. Jessica Metal says they were pushing for the Kristallnacht for months before it actually happened.
Yeah.
The
This is not surprising to me. The history, I would like to do a comprehensive thing on the history of anti-Semitism as the modern concept, you know? I want to do this.
Hold on. Hold on a second. One second. I wanted to get this date. The first large. Okay, so just so you all know, the Nazi book burnings. The first of the Nazi book burnings happened in 1933.
Yeah, of course. That's because the Nazis started doing their genocide in full force in 1933, not in 1941.
So in 1933,
Yeah.
7 years before what Loner Box is saying here, the stochastic genocidal elements burning
Of
Jewish
course.
and queer history was already happening.
You're really what Loner Box is doing is literally historical illiteracy and genocide, the denialism. Very disappointing is an understatement. Yeah.
(1933) was the first Nazi book burning. Jewish literature took precedence. The burning of Jewish literature took precedence over everything else. The German Student Union proclaimed a nationwide action against the un-German spirit.
Yeah.
Which was
See?
to climax a
The
literary...
un-German spirit. This sentiment was really born as people don't like to admit it, but those sort of sentiments were a direct effect of the formation of the nation states. I will say that I am highly anti-nation state, okay? Highly anti-nation state.
purge.
Because the idea of something being anti-German can only exist within the framework of a nation state.
Or cleansing by fire. Local chapters of the German Student Union were instructed to supply the press with releases and commissioned articles, to sponsor well-known Nazis to speak at public gatherings, and to negotiate for radio broadcast time. This is a right-wing organization setting into... This is exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, it is.
That is identical to what fucking Turning Points USA...
It is identical. Like the example of doctors being threatened for giving young people health care, Matt Walsh saying that the best children's hospital in the US is a bunch of groomers, them receiving bomb threats. It is happening right now. Yeah, and it is terrifying. Like, this is so abstract and bizarre for me to think that a person could just like this slander and attack the best children's hospital in the country and at the same time still say that he is pro children's, like that he's doing this to protect children. Like, this is like
is doing in America right now. They're riding around the country. They're aiming to get their propaganda in front of people.
This is extremely terrifying.
Handing out leaflets. They're riling people up.
Yes.
They're busing 30 buses worth of people into January 6th.
Yep.
What the fuck, man?
Come under that. No, they were
Yes.
building
Okay,
up
all
to
right.
it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're
This is like pretty not disputed. Yeah, this is not
Jesus
disputed.
Christ. Okay, all right. So
Why? Wait, why
All
is
right.
that? Why is that so?
I think we're done
alarming to
then.
you?
Because
wait, why? I
because
need to
because
know why
you're
that's
not
really
going to
alarming to you
be there saying the rights. Like, imagine in like 1934 or 1935 in Germany, where the Nazis are obviously passing laws to make
True.
impossible. They're making Jews unable to participate in normal
Exactly.
life. And loaner
Wow.
boxes.
She's being so correct here. Like, wow. She's doing such a great job. I love it. You know, she's being such a good, like, I think she's called Poly People. I think we should plug Poly People as well. I think I will plug somehow Poly People as well. We will look her up and we will try to give her some love and support. She's being so correct here. Exactly. It started in 33, making life unlivable for Jewish people.
saying, "Hey, it's not a genocide. I don't see the intent for
Exactly.
genocide here. I have to wait until they're carting people off to camps, and then I will call it a genocide." What the fuck?
Hello, it's me, Natalie Mary. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome.
Fuck is your point then? You know, like, you cannot be trusted then to stand up for things that matter when they happen. You're gonna
Yeah, exactly. You cannot be trusted to stand for things when they matter. You can only be trusted to be hindsight is 2020, which is basically a useless sentiment, to be honest. Like, nobody cares about that.
who says, "Oh, that was wrong."
Oh yeah, by the way, this is really funny. It's really
I mean,
funny.
it's
that
terrifying, but to
it's
me,
really disappointing and funny that Lonerbox is taking this position.
yeah.
So there was a film that we watched part of on my stream that was written by, once again, Magnus Hirschfeld, an amazing guy. It was a film called Different from the Others. It was a German melodrama that was produced during the Weimar Republic, and it was released in 1919. Yeah, the release was in 1919, and it was a movie about a gay man being extorted because one of his neighbors saw him kissing his lover. So
Right.
him and his lover were in a park and they kissed, and one of the neighbors extorted him for it, and he ends up dying at the end of the thing. It's like a really he kills himself because his career gets ruined because his neighbors extort him.
Right.
This movie came out in 1919, and it came out in response, by the way, to the fact that homosexuality was made a criminal offense in Germany.
Because it's basically trying to decriminalize the thing that is perceived as the other, you know, outside of the norm.
It was a provision to the German criminal code, by the way. That law happened in 1871, which criminalized homosexuality.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was a part of the German criminal code until 1994.
There we go.
Until 1994.
Which is ridiculous.
Do people need qualifications to debate you? No, you just have to be interesting.
I'm
You have to
interested.
be interesting and have an interesting topic. That's all.
But I don't have, that's my problem. I don't have many things that I disagree
let's
on.
continue.
Later after it's
I don't know if,
but that's not what
I'm struggling to find a thing that I'm disagreeing with Mama on, with Mother. I listen to Mother.
that's not
I'm
what
a
we
good
need.
child.
Okay, first of all, when camps were opening, yeah, there was plenty of evidence to say that we're building up to a genocide, and the urgency was there. Like again, I
What?
just so you know, for my
they
take on
built
Germany,
camps?
I think the Allies should have intervened when the first camp opened, before the annexations.
Like, first of all, you have no idea what you're talking about. You should not, like, Loner Box. If you are not well read on the Holocaust, if you're not well read on the topic of Germany and how it all went down, then, yeah, I am one of the imps. Yeah, Lucy Haze is one of the imps. Yeah. Like I am in the Mother's chat often, you know? We talk, you know? The Mother is good. I visit the chat, you know? But yeah, Loner Box, if he's not well read, he should just read more and admit that he does not know much about the topic. Because, first of all, that's right. Of course, we must remember that, and that is, we must remember that a concentration camp is not entirely the same as a death camp. Like, a concentration camp is not exactly the same as, like, the Auschwitz, Birkenau, etc. It's like there's a difference between them. But the fact remains that the Holocaust began in 1933. And that is the consensus. Nobody disputes this outside of people like Loner Box. First of all, okay? So he should really, really hit the books and get more educated on the topic. And second of all, there were countries that couldn't just intervene the moment the first camps were built, because as far as I know, maybe I should read up more about it. It was not exactly common knowledge that the death camps were happening. Okay, like I know that the information leaked out about the death camps and that it was very dismissed, but it's not that it was known from the get-go. But it does not change the fact that the thing was happening from 1933. So it's like he's like lumping so many different topics in here. And he's being so incorrect on all of them.
So no,
Yeah, but
actually,
you
I'm
would-
very for intervening as quickly as possible when that happens. I think
Like, what do you mean? Like, there was also lack of information about what was going on.
every government in the Allied states were too slow. Okay, so no, I don't know why you think just because I'm contesting you on terminology.
I'm a mod in Polish channel and we got a lot of imps in her stream after the watched this and the support is great. Oh yeah. Can you link Polish channel actually? Does she have like a Discord? Does she have a Discord? Maybe also link that. Maybe you could link everything that you can from her, okay? Put it in the chat and I will when I finish doing a segment out of this, we will do all of the plugging in as well, you know? Like it's important to plug and support. Like she's being really correct. And she's admitting that she's not an expert on these topics and she still shows greater understanding on the historical topics than Loner Box is here, you know? It's great. It's great to see.
Means you think I'm less urgent about stopping the problem. I don't know why you think that.
Because you're demonstrating that.
Because you.
Because you're shoehorning.
What?
Because you're shoehorning, right?
Oh my gosh! We said what at the same time.
He's really defensive.
Because I'm not using the same terminology.
Why is he? Why is
This is a cold intro moment.
he so defensive? Is Lonerbox usually this weird and defensive?
As you.
He can
Well-
be.
And I feel like I've got pretty reasonable reasons for it.
Your unwillingness to sort of.
You're shoehorning me to say that the only reason he won't use the language I do
Yeah.
is because he doesn't care as much as I do.
You don't. Well, I wouldn't say care.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Watching this debate, I do come to the conclusion that he just doesn't care as much. I'm gonna join this Discord.
You're just denying the extent of the problem.
Well, it's just that you even said they are intending to kill them. And
So,
I'm saying, well,
would you
where's
would
the-
you
where's the
say
evidence of that?
attempted genocide is going on?
He
would
will
you
not
accept
even
that?
agree to
There's an
that.
attempted genocide, and if you're willing to agree to that, why not just say genocide?
I don't,
What's
I
with
don't,
the?
No, I don't think what's happened. I don't think legislators are attempting a genocide. I don't think they're
Okay,
trying to
okay,
kill
see,
trans people. I don't think
you
that's
So
don't-
we don't
okay,
agree.
Jesse,
Yeah.
That's the problem. You
Okay. If you can't even acknowledge that there's an attempted genocide, you are
Lost. Then you are lost.
just wrong.
Then you are lost. At the risk of breaking some, what do you call it? Copyright law. Where is it? Then you are lost.
I should have known the Jedi.
No, then you are lost. There we go.
Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of...
I am just.
Your new empire?
Don't make me kill you.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
If you're not with me,
Then you are lost.
me kill.
Your new
Security to my new empire. Brought peace.
Where is it?
Side as you do. Dark side as you do. I do not feel the lies of the Jedi. Me, Obi-Wan.
thing you
Where is that? Then you are lost.
this Dark Lord to twist your mind until now. Allowed this
Hello.
Dark Lord to that.
God, where is it? Where is it?
And security to
New empire.
make me
Democracy!
with me. Enemy.
Deals in absolutes. Only a Sith.
Oh, I cannot find it. But you know what I mean. We will find. I guess we'll just have to find the clip in editing, you know. Then you are lost. Enter here. And stop. True. We'll just have to find it. Like it's a waste of time to try to find it now. We'll just find the appropriate clips later. Pretty soon he tries to imply that saying there's a genocide police saying we should start murdering. Yeah. This is really weird.
just wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
there are
really not to be this like confident in being so wrong. And the next day, mind you, Lonerbox said, I don't think I was wrong about anything here, and nobody else has said that I was wrong, which is very interesting. This is what he said the next day, that he doesn't think he was wrong
states
about
right now,
anything.
currently, that are attempting. Alabama attempted to criminalize all trans healthcare.
Yeah.
Not just for minors.
Also, some law tries to criminalize social transition, like, I don't know, wearing a dress. Imagine trying to criminalize being gender non-conforming. What is this?
All. The don't say. Oh my God, man! What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're either living under a rock or you're being transphobic. Wow, damn it, nuts! Nuts! Why do you gotta be based so frequently?
Like, I live on the other side of the globe and this terrifies me.
This was
Well,
this was
probably
published right-
probably
this
because
was-
I understand that whatever bad thing happens in the US for trans people will just trickle down and happen in Poland as well. But even if that wasn't true, it would be still terrifying to me.
published in the UK, where Lonerbox is. NHS. Most children who think they're transgender are just going through a phase.
Right. Which is not true,
This was a
actually.
statement from the NHS.
Which is definitely not true.
Oh, fuck you.
Studies do
Fuck
not
this shit.
support this. Like, at all.
Can I get the full thing? I want to see who quoted that. I want to see what the
Wait.
full quote is. Who said that? Doctors
Wait.
told not to encourage young people to change their names and pronouns. That's an
Ridiculous.
That's an internal memo. That's so fucked up.
It is.
What the fuck?
Don't get it. Okay, how about this? Maybe they're not. Their purpose is not to kill trans people. It would just be a happy outcome.
Which is basically
I don't
the
know
same.
because I mean, imagine
Yeah,
when
okay.
when I listen to the way conservatives speak, the way I hear conservatives speak is they will talk about is like they think because they believe the whole like social contagion bullshit, right? They believe that people become trans because of some like too much libcucks education or whatever. That's what they think. So I think they would say that.
By the way, quick citation, just so people understand I'm not just making shit up. Here you go. This is from the Human Rights Campaign, an update on
this
anti-trans
is like-
legislation in Alabama.
This is like really bad what Lonerbox is doing here, by the way, implying that they are just misguided, well-intentioned people. If only they could be educated about the truth, they would quickly change their position and become pro-trans. No, they're not just misguided, well-intentioned people that believe that in the social contagion thing. They're not. The social contagion thing is just one of the many dishonest arguments that they have in their arsenal. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? This is basically not true.
SB 184. This law would make
Ridiculous.
a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison
Like,
to
it's
provide...
ridiculous to make those people seem much better and much honest than they are. Like, all they need to do is to be calmly debated out of their positions by people like Lonerbox here. That's not the case. They don't care. Like, if they are being proven incorrect on one point, then they will just create a different point. And then they will invent another point and another point.
gender-affirming care at all to provide any. Arkansas
Like,
passed the only other gender...
This has the air of I can fix them. I can fix them. I can fix them and I can fix their position. I'm seeing thousands gathering in Iran to mark 40 days since the death of Masha Amini. I can't believe it's been that long. Oh. Like,
affirming
I
care
can
ban
fix
into
them.
law last year, and it was immediately challenged. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Arkansas passed that law. Here you go. You can read this whole article, Demon Speaker. Like I said, fucking Human Rights Campaign has it about
Yeah.
it. Here you go. SB 184 also forces educators to out children to their parents.
Oh, yeah. This is also bad as well.
This law bans K through 12 students from using bathrooms in school facilities consistent
And
with
this is because, I'm gonna go on a tangent here. This is because, unironically, conservatives think that children are the property of their parents. You know, I argued with conservatives that unironically said that children are property of their parents in all but name because children cannot decide things for themselves. Because parents need to make decisions for certain decisions for children. That means, in the conservative's mind, that the child is the parent's property, which is ridiculous because parents are not owners. I'm even surprised that I have to say this, but I will say it. Parents are not owners of their children. They are their guardians and protectors. Parents are there to guide, protect, and take care of their children, not to own them.
gender identity. Additionally, the law would ban conversations about sexual orientation and gender identity in classrooms K to 5, similar to the Don't Say Gay or Trans bill.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Let's continue going through this and showing how wrong Loner Box actually is right now.
They're
Yeah,
worried about kids
super on many levels.
getting exposed to social contagion, and then because that social contagion makes them trans, that increases their suicide rate, and they think they would say that
This
they
is
think
just
that
an
trans identity
excuse.
is what's killing kids, and they're very wrong about that. But that's very different from them thinking, I want these people to
See? Loner Box is playing defense for big. Is basically saying they're just misinformed, they're just misguided, they just think that harm is being done. No, that is objectively not the case. That is awful.
die, right?
Let me
Loner Box should educate himself on both history and on trans issues, unironically.
remind you that they don't just call us they don't just say it's a social contagion.
Yeah, they call us groomers.
They believe that we expand our numbers by grooming kids, by being predators. Do you think that they give a fuck whether we
They
die
don't.
if they believe that we are pedophiles and predators? Do
Exactly.
you think that they would say no, those pedophiles and predators and groomers, they should live?
Yeah.
Or does that sound to you like somebody that they are characterizing in a way
Obsessive word saying the Mr. Girl position.
so as to dehumanize us and thereby justify our deaths?
So you've gone
Yeah, hey, what do you do to a contagion? Huh?
You contain it.
You know why they use that language? What do you do to a contagion? Do you cleanse or
Yeah.
purge a contagion?
Exactly.
Huh.
Interesting, huh?
between groomers and kids there, though, but I thought the legislation was blocking healthcare for kids.
But keep in mind, obsessive word, Hitler was just a direct result of many historical things that were happening. Like the recipe for the rise of the Nazis were already in place even before World War I. And this also needs to be educated, like this also needs to be talked about. And I'm going to talk about it. I am going to speak on it. And this is what I want us to formulate a coherent plan on how to, Like, I want us to create a really comprehensive plan on how to tackle speaking about history.
So they're not
Why
they're
are
not
you
calling the
being
kids groomers. They think
semantic
they're
about
like.
what? Yes, it doesn't
Okay,
matter
look,
that
you're
they're
talking-
okay. Look. Maybe their goal is to protect kids. Uh, no.
By the way,
I'm sure
not
there's
the-
Their goal is not to protect kids, mind you. If your goal is to protect kids, then why would you attack the best children's hospital in the whole country? Like, does that track to you? Does that seem legit to you? That in order to protect children, you assault the best children's hospital in the country?
plenty of
That this seemed like
Christopher says, my question is, when does repression of a group become genocide of that group? Jews, LGBTQ people, etc. have been repressed for a long time. Does that count as an ongoing genocide? Yes.
it does.
Yes.
Of course.
I think
There you go.
I think that to this day we still have an ongoing genocide of native peoples in
Yeah.
America. Yes.
Yeah.
I think people want genocides to be
We have an ongoing genocide basically of the Romani people. Like, the Romani people are treated like horribly, and it's normalized as hell. Like, I have a person that I've met that I really want to also talk about this with. They're coming for your children, yeah, not signaling any kind of violent intent at all. Sure, buddy, yeah.
tiny contained things and not acknowledge the fact that they have never gone away, that we've never actually overcome them.
Yeah, and we should.
The AIDS,
Absolutely.
exactly. Thank you, Intentions Nasty. The AIDS crisis is a very clear sign of this. The
Yeah.
AIDS crisis, which for no reason at all, for not even for no reason, literally information it was known that it was not a disease that targeted gay people. It was known how to prevent it, and that information was held back by the government. If you
Of course, Cesar, I'm gonna do a little bit maybe a more lighthearted, strangely lighthearted tangent. When I was a small child, for some reason, the topic of AIDS was like a big topic. And as a small child, I used to be extra scared that when I got a cut or a wound, I would avoid like being too close to everybody because I thought that somehow if my wound would get close to anyone or something, then I was at risk of getting AIDS. This is really, really strange, okay? Really strange things. I was like afraid. I was very like trying to hide my wound from being exposed to anyone. And like I was like, oh no, there's blood, and blood means that possibly I can get AIDS somehow. And yeah, it's just like I don't know. But I am happy to say that the whole thing of the gay people causing AIDS always seemed really ridiculous to me. So maybe I grew in a better environment and I give credit, okay? Since that notion seemed really ridiculous to me. Instead, I had a totally different, more inclusive notions that people's wounds touching each other might cause it. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
oh my god, it is so bad. Yeah. Anyway, let's
I had
continue.
my own silly idea.
By the way,
Nazis.
that's you saying
Hold
that
on,
they're
hold on,
attempting
No,
to
you're
hold on,
good.
hold
genocide
on,
other
hold on.
kids,
I
but
just-
then
I'm
call
glad
the
you asked
adults
that.
groomers. Like,
Hold on. Why would you give? Okay, so like, if you believe that they believe
Yeah.
that we're groomers and predators toward kids, why would you find it hard to accept that they want us to die,
Exactly.
or that they would be
Like
perfectly
what?
fine
Yeah,
if
if
they
they-
thought we
yeah.
would die?
yeah, because if they think you're guilty of like a crime of grooming, does that mean everyone who's pro death penalty is like genocidal?
Okay, you are being
Also, there was this weird belief that if someone had AIDS, then they would spread it. That they would spread it. Marvel Disney Plus documentary She-Hulk covers this kind of thing. Oh, okay. The Marvel Disney Plus documentary. Isn't it legal? Isn't She-Hulk legal drama?
you're being far too.
Isn't She-Hulk basically the Marvel version of Annie McBeal? Like if somebody knows both She-Hulk and Annie McBeal, like, can you confirm if She-Hulk is anything like Annie McBeal?
Too obtuse. Of course not. Okay. Pro death penalty is different from being pro death penalty for a group of people.
Right.
They are pro death penalty for trans adults, we'll say,
Right.
which is genocide.
And again, it's not genocide until I don't think.
What?
Okay, they haven't killed off enough of us yet.
To trans people,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
What?
No,
Say that
no,
Okay,
no.
so just out of interest, so do you think? So are you telling me within the next 5-10 years we're going to see any attempt at legislation to give the death penalty
Oh, okay. I would not say so. The show isn't as good at the lawyer stuff. This is horrible.
trans adults?
They don't have.
You don't have to do that. Obviously, in 10 years, who fucking knows? It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
But they don't have to do that. That's not the way politics is done now. Donald Trump will just stand on the platform and say, these groomers, they're coming for your children.
Yeah.
They're going to get you. You better get your
my
guns
God.
and go take care of them. And then,
Yeah.
provided that the ferocity of this campaign continues, which, by the way, let's just have a quick reality check, okay?
Yeah.
Because I did this earlier
Let's.
before I even knew we were gonna I had no plans to review this. Earlier today, I wanted to use this
Oh my god.
this real quick. Let me just show you, okay? Real quick. All right. Take a look at this, okay?
I will take
Matt
a
Walsh. Just searching Matt Walsh on YouTube. 1.83 million subscribers. Here's a
What?
video in which stand up for your kids.
Wait, how many subscribers does Matt Walsh have?
Under attack.
Oh.
Okay? Here's all
Now I'm
these-
really
here's,
sad.
the first non-him videos are him giving speeches about trans people. Our successful rally sends leftist goblins into fits of a satanic hysteria. And if you look at the picture, the rally was called the Rally to End Child Mutilation.
Wow. Yeah, hey, on that note, apparently extremist activity is going local in
Like,
anticipation of
dude,
the midterm.
what do
yeah.
you like? Let's just a reality check here.
Yeah.
The most popular right-wing figures are literally trying to mobilize their
Like,
base.
we really desperately need to work together. Like, we really need to work together.
On ending child mutilation. Your children are being attacked. You need to act now. Do you guys remember when we just the other day watched that Tucker Carlson segment where he's screaming about how about the fake big titty teacher and how he was like, you need American patriots need to
Yeah, I
they're
remember.
coming for your children. They're
Blair White did a segment of the fake titty teacher.
coming for your children. They're coming
Of course,
for your
because of
children.
course she
Remember that?
did.
We just watched this the other day.
Yeah.
Just needed a reality check moment because I think Loaderbox is talking straight out of his ass.
Yeah, he
Because
is.
they
He
will-
needs to get
They
educated
will make
on
life
this.
unlivable. At some point, if things keep going, sure, they will cart us off. Like that will happen. It won't just be trans people. It'll be just like any other sort of fascist movement if it gets to that point. But it will be step by step.
Yes!
Like these things always happen. And
Exactly.
You will be, what I fear is people like you will be, each step that's taken, you will be able to distinguish in your mind why this step is not the same as
Yeah, exactly.
the other things that are, or that you think are specifically genocidal. And that kind of thing makes me nervous when I hear people like you just, sort of say, well, this is not the same. The worst hasn't happened
Exactly.
yet, so therefore I'm not going to, call what's
Like,
going
yeah, she's being so correct here.
going on, what's going on.
She's doing
So
great. She's
usually
doing
when this topic
amazingly
comes
well.
up, and I operate in the UK, so usually when this topic comes up, I see like there's anti-trans legislation. In America, where I live in the UK, the anti-trans legislation is like they basically have used a loophole to make puberty blockers like completely inaccessible for.
I want to point this out, okay? This is a god tier tweet. I retweeted this tweet the other day, but boy oh boy is this relevant. The primary role of liberalism over the next 30 years will be to obstruct the left from preventing the right from taking power, and then blaming us when the right takes power.
Exactly.
Is that not like exactly what we're watching in this
It is
conversation?
in real time right now.
The primary role of liberalism over the next 30 years will be to obstruct the left from preventing the right from
True.
taking power, and then blaming us when the right takes power. I feel like that's exactly what's going on in this conversation. It's just like wasting everyone's time splitting hairs over, well, you know, you shouldn't say genocide because it
True.
doesn't fit the definition of the UN. The UN's most narrow definition of genocide actually
Instead of actually combining our forces and pushing back on the actual genocide that's going on.
it does also fit the most narrow definition of genocide, but that makes me feel icky. So
Exactly.
you shouldn't do it's pathetic. This
It
is a
is.
pathetic look.
People who need it, yeah, it's pretty fucked. And I think what I'll usually say is I'll be like, this is really urgent. I think if anyone wants to engage in activism, if that's their thing, because there's lots of people who come to me
That's
like,
their
I want to
thing.
get involved, I'll probably say like, well, Stonewall, really good organization to volunteer for. Mermaids, all these organizations want volunteers. A lot of them are involved in fighting the legislation, going into, I don't know how it works over there, but the way it comes is like with councils, you can lobby and you can write.
Yeah, but you're making it easier for people to say, why should I fight if there's not a serious thing going on? If you're downplaying it like this. This meme will also become very relevant to this debate. An incredibly irritating conversation I keep having with baby leftists. We should flee fascism. You're saying we should lay down and die. The opposite, we should run and live. You want me to let the fash kill me. Okay, look, here's your wallet, let's go. You want me to just die. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. Obviously you love fascists. Nice. Let's go.
You can visit your local MP. You can talk about it in
So
all these different ways.
disappointing.
At what point? But I guess if it's a genocide, that action is insufficient. Then is it? What should I do? What more should I do?
You should at least be willing to call it.
Genocide, yes.
Wait, hold on. This is a weird direction. He's being
Yeah.
super defensive here. What more should I do? Well, call it a genocide. Call it what
Yeah.
it is, dude.
Exactly.
Don't fucking split hairs when trans people are telling you that this is an attempted genocide and there are ongoing aspects of genocide.
Exactly.
No
Like
one's
what?
asking you to do anything else, although I would certainly appreciate it if cis
If you
people would, push back a little harder. Just a little bit harder against transphobia.
Yeah.
Just a
We should all stand together. Like I keep saying. Like we should not treat it as those people are being oppressed. We should say clearly, their oppression is our oppression. Okay? It hits us, and we will fight as if it was the case for all intents and purposes, right? And we as trans people can do the same for other marginalized groups, like racial minorities, treat their oppression as if it was our oppression. Does that make sense, Did he just feel backed into a corner and couldn't admit that he had something to learn? The bet ego keeps making people double and triple down on indefensible takes. Yeah, it does. Like, sometimes you just have to think about a bit, you know?
It's a little harder. You know, a little bit of rip and tear.
A genocide.
That's at least. If I don't call it a genocide, what? I'm insufficient?
Well, you are not accepting the truth of what's going on.
Hey,
Exactly.
everybody, have you considered writing a letter to oppose the law that will ban you from getting health care? Have you considered writing a letter?
And you're saying you were going by arbitrary definitions though, because I don't think
Huh?
you were having a go at me for using the legal
Okay,
definition
okay,
earlier. So
look.
You're having a go at me. This is buried
Do
in
you
my
just not
brain.
accept that they're trying to, or that they would be happy if
You're
trans
having a go
people
at me.
either went back into the closet or died? Do you take issue with that characterization of the?
I think there are
what's
some.
going
So there are
on?
some legislators who I think are definitely happier with the closet thing, but not because they're trying to kill trans people. It's because they think it's like a mental disorder, right? That's
See? They are just misguided. They're like that they could be loner box will fix them.
Trying to force trans people out of the public eye. You do that because you are disgusted by them. You
Exactly.
don't believe they should be seen in the public eye.
Exactly.
Forcing trans people into the closet is trying to kill them. It's so that they'll go away and
Yeah.
die where you don't have to see them.
Yes.
It's so that they'll languish where you don't have to see it. It's the same thing as telling homeless people, being like, ooh, homeless people are so unsightly. Don't you wish we
Exactly.
could just get rid of them? Like, what do you mean by
Why is all of this charity reserved for transphobes in this discussion? That's a great question.
get rid of them? What do you think the goal of putting somebody in the closet is? What do you think the goal
To make them
of passing
disappear,
laws
of course.
that force trans people to hide in the shadows is? What are they trying to accomplish? Use your fucking mind. Holy fuck.
that's their rationale.
Good night,
And the reason
Ashmar.
I get pedantic about that difference is because the way you approach both of those issues is very different. One of them, I think the former one, because they
Oh no, is he about to do the rose wrist thing? Is he about to do the rose wrist thing? Where he goes, if I admit that it's a genocide, then I have the responsibility to act more fiercely.
Yeah. We should act more
To rip
fiercely.
and tear. And I
Yeah.
don't want to think that I'm at the point in history where I should be considering ripping and tearing.
Exactly.
Oh man.
It is the thing that he's doing. Literally, that is the thing that he is doing.
Dude.
stupid and uninformed and have bad research. Well, the way you respond to that is the way I think I advocate for, is people getting involved in pressure groups, in political, in charities, in lobbying, in going to
Charities.
meetings and lobbying MPs, protesting, civil, like,
We
yeah,
will charity our way out of transphobia. We will charity our way out of this genocide.
things that you can do within a liberal democracy, like
Denial.
things that are just like actionable. If you think the legislators do this because they want to kill the trans people, then the way you respond to that is, well, what would you do? What would you do if the Nazis took power? You wouldn't oppose like Jewish militias trying to.
Hindsight is 2020. True. We want equal rights, not charity. True.
What would you do if the Nazis took power? What would you do if your country was rapidly descending into fascism in the midst of absolutely horrendous economic fallout because of a plague, and the fascists were getting louder and were targeting trans
True.
people and were advocating for laws that would kill trans people and lots of
Waiting
other
for
people, including
TOS.
Jewish people. Wow, anti-Semitism is back on the rise too. What would you do? What would you do? There you go, rip and tear. That's what you do.
True.
Oh,
By any
man.
vote necessary.
Assassinate
True.
Nazi politicians, right? So
You said it.
I don't
not
know,
me.
like if
Wow.
you're calling it a genocide, then why are you not trying to get legislators
My
killed?
voice broke. This is also why preventative measures
I'm
are the
not,
only option
you know,
for
we've never
genocide.
talked
There's no
about that.
win. Exactly.
Damn. Loner box CIA arc? Is he
Yeah.
a Fed?
I think that's
You wouldn't talk about it, but
well,
you. Okay.
well, I wouldn't do any. I would personally not do anything like that. Like that's
Yeah,
that's
you
not
just
something
want
I would-
other people to fuck up
that's-
their own lives and
that's
go to
not-
jail and just like ruin everything just
There we
because
go.
and actually probably
What
fuck
is
everybody even
this?
more. But that's the logic.
Whoa! Whoa! What?
What is this?
My man, what?
What was that? Keep in mind all the excuses he made for conservatives having no violent intent earlier. Now he's projecting violent intent onto Polly. He's holding trans people to a high different standard than conservatives. This shows a clear bias. Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah.
Logical conclusion, right?
Like, this is
Damn.
really bad. This is
This
horrible.
is so disappointing. He's legit saying he can't acknowledge an ongoing genocide because if he did, he would have to be okay with trans people fighting back. Yeah, and then
Exactly.
he's going above and beyond to mock her even for something she didn't even say, for something he
Yeah.
said. Bro, this is pathetic, man.
This is really pathetic.
I'm about to break out.
More
the, "I am
people should
greatly
like push
displeased."
against
Yes,
this sort of rhetoric.
I am greatly displeased. This is a bad show.
If someone has genocidal intent and is trying to action it gradually, they are fair game, right?
So I think you're being unfair. You're painting me as somebody
Exactly.
who is now trying. God, you're doing the thing. You're saying now I'm the murderer. I'm trying to get because I am calling something what it is. You're now saying that I'm trying to get people killed in the name of trans people. That's fucking ridiculous, my guy. I am just trying to get you to use a word that accepts the very risk to people like me that is out there right now. There is legislation being proposed. There is legislation being passed. There are children being taken away from their parents in the state of Texas because they are treating their kids for who they are. And you're saying if I call it a genocide, I am therefore
Calling this a genocide inconveniences me, so maybe it's going too far. I don't know. Like, yeah, literally.
what now go out and kill people that are trying to kill me? Like I don't understand. Oh my God, if that's your standard, then I guess there will never be a genocide because I'm always going to be too afraid to fight back against
Nice.
the powers that be that are trying to get me. I would, yes. What if somebody like me would rather run and hide, in a fucking attic somewhere? Does that make it not a genocide? Because
Exactly.
other people are going to fight for me instead.
So where do we? So
You
wait.
got
So
enough to
I'm
clip
going
me.
to assume you're saying then that you
got
don't want to
enough.
be pigeonholed into
can't
the
run it for
person
too
who
long
wants
'cause
to
it'll
kill
hit me.
legislators. I'm just, I
No.
asked you a question.
No,
You're saying no.
That's
okay,
crazy,
okay.
dude.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question. That's fine. You said no. Okay. Personally, I don't know. Jewish militias attacking like Nazi politicians. I wouldn't have opposed that.
Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020.
But anyway, because that was like genocide. As for what's happening today, then where do we disagree?
Okay. I'm gonna take
Hindsight
just a second
2020.
here. What Loaderbox just did here was A, extremely dirty,
Yep.
and B, was fucking lame, my man.
Yeah, it is lame, my man.
That was a fucking lame ass, weak ass play.
True.
Being like, hey, so if it's a genocide, don't you think that it would you oppose Jewish militias? It's literally Fed posting.
Yeah.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to get her to say something that
That's
could
the
get her
OS.
stream taken down. Which she never even said in the first place. All that she's been trying to do is say you should take this seriously. And then
Yeah.
he goes, well, I would support the Jewish militias
Exactly.
because a real genocide was going
Yeah,
on.
what
But
the hell?
You're a fraud.
And he doesn't even agree that the genocide was going on because he says it started in 41.
Because you think a real genocide is going on and you don't support whatever bullshit he just made up. That was like one of the dirtiest approaches I've seen. That is very much that is a That's characteristic of another streamer who engaged.
Also, at the end, like at the very end, only at when it was far too late, Jewish people did pick up arms. Like, I am 99% sure that Loner Box has never heard of the Jewish Warsaw Uprising, that the Jewish Ghetto Uprising, the uprising of the Jewish ghetto. I'm sure that Loner Box has never heard of that.
In bullshit like this against trans people. Yes, it's literally what Rose Wrist was trying to do to Vosh. I don't think that there's any surprise that both Rose Wrist and Loner Box borrowed directly from the playbook of fucking Stinky Steve.
Exactly, Stinky Steve.
If we're talking about, I guess you'd imagine the way to oppose this would
Dirty
be
shit.
Lobby legislators, turn up to town hall meetings, I guess, in America, help with
Do
different pressure groups,
everything
help with
you
charities.
Inglourious
can
Bastards.
within
Okay.
the law, as many people did.
I've actually heard Inglourious Basterds is a pretty good movie, and I've actually never seen it. You know?
Within the law during previous genocidal events, right? Maybe it won't be enough, but it's better than arguing with a pedantic tone about whether or not genocide is going on or not. Because
Well,
there
you're the
is
one that's telling
there
me
is
that
one going
the
on,
problem
dude.
with me is the problem, but you're saying the problem with me is that I'm not calling it a genocide.
It
then. It goes
is,
both
yeah.
ways.
No,
If
it
the only
doesn't.
bar I'm not crossing is calling it a genocide.
Well,
we're just
I don't
talking
know.
Like what?
To
I'm
be
just
fair-
not using your
to be
level
fair-
of like your tone or what?
To be fair, I don't know much about your position on trans people. Right. I saw
Okay.
your last video, and I had critiques about it, but I
True.
didn't come
Obsessive
away
word.
with the feeling like you didn't recognize the threat that exists to trans people until well, I guess this very moment. And now it, like your sort of over reliance on I'm not so sure, like the need for people to start dying before you're willing to call something or visibly dying in a way that you would recognize, as opposed to just
Right.
dying invisibly. That's going on right now, a way that's going on right now. Until you're willing
can
to
tell you
acknowledge
very-
that there's
I can
a
tell you very
genocide
clearly,
going
though.
on, or an intended.
Excellent question. Killjoy40K says, how do you
Okay.
stop genocide when the law is on the side of genocide? Lonerbox is acting like killing Jews was illegal in Germany and that Germans just
Exactly.
didn't do enough to stop them. At the end of this segment, I will have an interesting quote to read you. We're going to finish listening to this, and then I'm going to read you all a banger quote, okay?
Banger quote. Shoo.
All right?
Okay, here
Actually-
you go.
You know what? Yeah, we'll wait. I'll read it at the end, okay?
Okay.
Trust me.
I trust you.
Genocide, at least.
Yeah, because I can tell you very clearly why I have a problem. And it's because
Alright.
the way you respond to these things are different. If a state is committing genocide, say, for example, this is what justifies countries invading other countries. This is what justifies countries bombing other countries.
Oh
This is the
yeah, oh yeah. Like the US is going to be invaded. The US is going to be bombed by Liechtenstein.
justification that was given in Libya. They said
The
that
US
Gaddafi
is
was
gonna
he
be
had genocide
bullied
on
by
intent.
like
He
Libya.
announced that he was going to genocide his own people, and then the
Yeah, what are you? Are you the fucking Queen of England, my man? Are you the fucking President of England? Why do you give a shit what justifications a nation needs to invade another nation? That's not what we're fucking
Exactly.
talking about. You're a person talking to a trans person about whether or not there is genocidal action going on towards the group of the person you're talking with. Fucking appealing to law? Okay, fuck it. I'm reading the
Exactly.
quote now because all of this law
Appealing
shit
to-
is getting
yeah.
on my nerves.
Same.
Okay? Are you ready?
Law can be terrible. Appealing to legality is horrible. It's a horrible thing to do. Like,
Hold on. I am going to read this. Hold on. I need to make this. Here you go. This is going to be for all of you. I'm going to re-add the red, okay?
yeah.
Here we go. Hold on. Ready?
Ready?
I know why they call me a thief. That's how they name anyone who is hiding from the law. This is our worst enemy, the law, as merciless, cruel, and unrighteous as it is. The law thinks nothing of whatever falls between the arms of its scale. The law does not believe in anything that falls between the black and the white. The law is impossible to appease. Its motion is heavy and
it doesn't
devastating.
care, exactly.
For the time being, you have escaped its all-seeing eye. You were thinking, perhaps, that it won't find you here. That's how it was for a long time. As of today, however, everything has changed. Were my traces uncovered? Is my miraculous power not enough?
Remember, redlining was
myself?
law.
This is our worst enemy, the law.
Exactly. Exactly. You can make the most heinous stuff in line with the law. You can justify many bad things with the law.
By the way, that is a quote from fucking Pathologic Classic! Yeah, you bitches! I got you! I got you with a Pathologic quote! I got you! Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Right.
But yeah, it is true. It doesn't change the fact that it's true, you know? Like, many horrible things were, like, just written into law.
UN, NATO went in there and bombed the fuck out of the country. But the reason they did that and the reason no country in the Human Rights Council voted against it was because it was like genocide.
So,
right?
okay.
So when it comes
Pathologic becomes leftist theory?
True.
It is leftist theory, okay? It is. I'm not kidding you. It's so loaded with leftist ideas, it's unbelievable. Anyway, let's continue.
to domestically, the difference is that
Let's say
feel like
there's
I'm more
a- okay.
radical than you now.
All right,
I think if there's
hold
a
on,
genocide happening, you should fucking
Okay.
video game the people who are doing the genocide.
Hold on. Let's
Yeah. Why is it? Or are you just, you know?
let's say that there was a genocide of trans people going on. Let's say like there
Alright.
was actually a genocide of trans people going on. What would you say then?
So by Loner Box's logic, here you should never do anything that might require a physical response. Yeah, it's like a really strange thing to say.
Should,
Oh,
should a
100%
foreign government
Geo-Neil.
bomb the United States to try to stop the genocide? And if so,
Let's
how
say
would
they
you
were-
do
let's
that?
say- okay, let's say. Well, people said take up arms, right? Trans people take up
Okay.
arms. I think taking up arms is cool. Yeah. Arming yourself to prepare for the worst,
What? So
especially in
wait-
the United States. So when it comes to say there's a
How is
genocide,
that gonna
if
say
there
this?
are
Okay.
if there are state agents coming to people's doors to force them into conversion therapy or whatever else, then yeah, video game yourself with defense. Yeah, defend that.
Video
Yeah.
game
Okay,
yourself.
yourself.
so
Video game yourself for defense. Yeah, let's call out China. This is unironically, like, let's not call out China. Somebody might bomb them, you know? Yeah.
so
This is ridiculous, especially that nobody would dare invade the US. Like, what? Who would invade the US?
so you're
So,
all right. Well, then I guess it doesn't matter because at that point it's not going to. The fact you would be only willing to acknowledge that it's a genocide in that case, where it would be obvious what the only action to do is, it'd be obvious then the only thing you could do is defend yourself by force. Then I guess that's fine, but it's way too late. Which is why,
Well, no, that's
you know,
why-
like
but
when there's
we
when
both agree
we're
on the left.
already heading toward that position where like that is
Okay.
a very possible, you know, thing that could happen. It's already happening in ways that you would say is a step, you know, removed from that. But like what's going on is tantamount
Free Arrows debunked this talking point about arms being sufficient to prevent a holo. I mean, yeah.
to the state elimination of elimination of the lives of
AT5D2D Derek
Very
with the
naive.
$5. It sounds like Loaderbox is in denial because he's scared of the implications. He would be morally obligated to give up his comfortable life and
True.
take action or accept that he's a coward.
True. Yeah.
True.
True.
Thank you, AT5D2D Derek.
Group of a cognizable group of people.
As truth.
Yeah, but you're telling me the stage where it's necessary to take up arms, we're not there yet, right? You are telling me that.
I would
Oh,
say
no.
so.
By the
Like
way,
the way
hold
I
on.
think.
I'll be clear. I'll be clear.
clear.
I don't really
Be
care if
clear.
either of these do. We are in the position when it's time for trans people to take up arms. Yes,
Yeah.
trans people have the Second Amendment right because we live in goddamn America. Trans
Goddamn.
people have the right to arm themselves to the teeth, and they motherfucking should.
To the
Wouldn't it
teeth.
be cool if I had a bunch of gun content planned for the near future? Let's continue.
This because I'm a trans person, not a fucking debate.
The U.S. gun culture. Oh my goodness.
Bro. I would say that if I don't think about this in that way, I think about how I'm going to live. I think about
The
where
US
I
gun
would
culture.
run to because I see this happening. That's what I think. I don't be like, oh, okay, so the genocide's happening. I'm going to take up arms so they can kill me faster. No, I'm afraid, my guy.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't disagree. I don't
Yeah,
see, I'm not saying you
yeah.
shouldn't be. Like,
Bruh.
I've read some of these
Liberals are
laws.
so
They're pretty
pathetic,
fucking
man.
awful.
Things are getting bad, really bad. And some people just refuse to accept it.
Liberals are so stupid. Liberals are so stuck in the debate, in like the stupidest form of the debate mindset, that they can't even listen to when a trans person is literally being like, I am scared for my life because of the
Yeah.
state of affairs in our country. And there's like, yeah, well, it doesn't meet the definition, the UN's most narrow definition of genocide. So what are you worrying about? It's all in your
Exactly.
head. What are you, crazy?
Yeah. Again, like, so. The only problem is that I'm not using the same word that you are.
Yeah, I guess so.
We agree when it comes to what people should do, right? Like,
Yeah,
we
the
agree
gun
to that.
culture is like
Nuts says, they literally want me dead. I'm afraid for my life. And then the liberal continues to talk about how the weather is. Jesus Christ.
it needs to stop.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Bruh.
I don't think it is unreasonable for me to come to the conclusion that if that at least the state of Texas, for example, hopefully the genocidal intent won't spread to the entire country, but it could, depending on what happens in national policy in the
true.
I think it already
Supreme
has.
Court. I guess I'm just
Same.
I'm
I do
just
think it
surprised to
already has
hear
as well.
the sort of, instead of like
Oh yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
I didn't even think of this earlier, but have you guys seen the way that conservatives talk about Rachel Levine? Rachel Levine, the health secretary, who's trans.
Oh, no.
Conservatives literally talk about her as though she's actively grooming kids. Like
Oh.
they're trying to get her assassinated. Like
Right.
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you listen to the way conservatives talk right now, popular conservative pundits, if you listen to the way they talk about Rachel Levine, an innocent person, they are literally constantly saying she's after your children. They're
Right.
literally
Yeah,
trying to
they
get
are.
her killed. It's unbelievable.
Like, it's pretty explicit. It's like
That's just yet
they're
another
not
thing on
being
the
subtle
giant
about
pile.
realizing that I have a
it.
very
They're not being
real fear
subtle
here.
at all.
It's gonna, by the
ever.
way, guys, it's gonna be really funny to come back to this stream
It's
a
not
year
gonna,
from now
I'm not sure.
when I do my next "I was right again" stream.
I mean, I'm not sure of this one. I'm not sure if being right about this one is going to be all that funny.
Demon Speaker says, "This is a literal talk I had with my parents, and I got called a schizo T-slur for being worried."
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Just sort of be picky about my use of the term. It's
Well, you can have a very real fear without using the word genocide, right? There are lots of
See?
things that happen in the world.
The
that
scary
honestly
word.
aren't genocide.
yeah. All right.
True,
Yeah,
Uncle
like
Gumball.
we know
fair.
this, and also, fuck. Just to come back, I had one note. Where the hell is it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the idea.
Sorry.
Even though I've made a good case for why there's an ongoing
True.
genocide and there's absolutely, verifiably, 100% unequivocally, at the very least, even if you ignore all of the ongoing laws, that there is absolutely an intent and
yeah.
attempt at genocide in the United States.
The word is
Just
scary.
don't use the terminology. Stop being so sensitive.
You're
That is
trying to
true.
get the fuck out of me. They're so stupid. Holy shit. Sorry, not you. I'm okay.
Did,
Um,
wait, did you just insult my chat?
one or two of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
stop it, dude.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
stop it. Like,
Oh, what a loser.
True. This is also a very Stephen-like thing to do, by the way. This is also out of Stephen's book.
Gallet, I'll answer that in just
Very
one second.
Stephen-like
Okay?
behavior.
Answer that in just 1 second, Gallet. I'm gonna finish this video and then we're gonna.
like you. Okay, I'm just gonna speak on their behalf. You're completely missing the point. Like,
Very cool of her to do, by the way.
if this is not if this is not a genocide, then or is this not an is this not an attempted genocide at least? Will you give me that?
No,
will
I
not.
don't think it's
Okay,
an
all right.
attempted, because again, you talk about attempted, it's
Okay.
like, I don't think they're doing it because they're trying to kill people.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
okay. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
Stephen is
for
like
some reason
poisons
you
the
are
mind.
unwilling to accept that this is
Gallet, Poly People is arguing that yes, there is the argument that Poly People has put forward is that there is a ongoing genocide
Yep.
against trans people, and has just said that okay, I still disagree with you, but can you at least admit that there's an attempted genocide?
Yeah, there is intent.
And Lonerbox said no, which is verifiably false. And
Even though he before admitted that there is intent, he just walked it back.
I think irresponsible.
He walked it back.
I am super disappointed with Lonerbox's performance in this debate. I think it's embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, it's super bad.
But yeah, Poly People is correct here.
based.
Poly People has been correct this entire time,
True.
and Lonerbox's performance in this was embarrassing.
Yeah.
this is an attempt to, kill trans people, or it's at the very least a happy consequence of their making life.
Yeah, Gallet, you should, because there's a lot of issues with what Lonerbox brought up here that are just this entire time I've been debunking shit that he's been saying. It's
Yeah.
extremely easy.
Like-
the slightest bit, like all I have to do is
He's
search
so
Matt Walsh.
he's so incorrect on so many levels that it's embarrassing. Current events, incorrect. Historical accuracy, incorrect.
Or Steven Crowder or Tucker Carlson, any of the most popular right-wing figures, any of the most popular right-wing politicians are currently screaming about groomers. And when they say groomers, they mean trans people.
People, yeah.
That's what they're trying to say. That's their new thing. They're rebranding LGBT people, but specifically trans people
As
as groomers.
groomers.
I don't know, like this is just ridiculous. I'm severely disappointed.
I mean, do you know how difficult it is to live for many of us without medical intervention?
Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of trans friends and people in my community
Okay.
who tell me about that stuff. I get very long emails and all that. So as much as I can know, I try to, yeah.
All right.
Again, that's not to do with
Trans, you have
thinking the
trans
legislators
friends? I
have
have a trans
genocidal intent,
friend?
right? That has nothing to do with that.
Gee.
So you're just willing to say that because you cannot prove what's in their mind and their heart, that you'll just give them the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah,
that
that
they
they're
really
just
hope
being
trans people live happy lives?
yeah.
No, it's not about benefit of the doubt. Like, I fucking hate these people. I just think I'd be
You
way to
already
combat them, or at least
you
to
already give them the benefit of the doubt by saying that they are just that they just misunderstand, that they just think that trans people cause harm, and that it's a contagion. You already gave them the benefit of the doubt.
for them is to understand.
Do you think libs get so upset when trans people call them out because they can't high road them? Notice how Lonerbox immediately fell back on rhetoric that he would generally reserve for violent Nazis? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think liberals get upset because liberals are legal cucks, okay?
True.
Liberals at their heart are Chuck from Better Call Saul. They are all about technicality, and they are never about spirit. They don't care about what the law is supposed to do. They only care about the letter of the law. And they can lie, cheat, and steal as much as they want as long as they technically have the right of law. That is a fundamental part of liberalism, is the obsession with legal right. I shot you in the face, but it's okay because it says on the law books that I can shoot you if you're on my property, and my property includes the entire
It's
farm
more
that you
important
used to
than
live
any
in.
life,
I
yeah.
bought it. And you're trespassing. It's fucking stupid. It is. It's West Wing ass bullshit. It's embarrassing. And that's why liberals get so mad in conversations like this. Because in conversations about what you do in the face of overwhelming oppression, in the face of genocide, is never as clean as they want. They don't like the idea that their system gives birth to the power that fascists use to kill. That liberalism is the left wing of fascism.
Is to, at least to some degree, find out what made them think that way. And what I see with a lot of people who, especially the problem, like it's maybe different in the UK, but what happens in the UK is a lot of otherwise progressive people will get roped into transphobia because basically just because of fear mongering. They'll be fear mongered into thinking that kids are, you know, oh, maybe it's okay for adults, but you know, kids, I don't know, too soon, they can't make up their own minds. And I'm like, okay, you don't sound like someone who's trying to kill trans people, right? Even though
Gallet says, how could Lonerbox think this way? He's been so based on so many issues. I'm shocked he's saying this.
Like, guess what? Guess what? Many regular people were also roped into anti-Semitism. And the result doesn't change. You know, the result is just the same. It doesn't change the fact that it's a genocide. What is this argument? This is a really silly argument.
Two, I never took him for the genocide denying type. Or the genocide downplaying, which is a form of genocide denial. I never took him for that type.
Hello, Cross Crescent Creed. Hello. Welcome, little
better.
Hey, Froggy.
I have learned over time. I have grown. I've grown more wise, and I have learned that there is a certain death orbit, and that death orbit can do horrible
Steven's
damage
orbit
to people's otherwise based opinions.
Steve's orbit.
Oh, the consequences of what you vote for will probably get trans people killed, right?
Sure.
But I think what motivates people to try and keep kids away from like puberty blockers and all that, I think 99.
I can proudly say that in my growth, I am not in Steven's orbit. I have never been in Steven's orbit, and I will never be in Steven's orbit. Nice. I can proudly say that at least.
99% of the time it's because they're scared of like poor kids getting like doctors interfering with like, I think for most of the time you can actually, or like some weird religious shit. I think you have to, but that's just how I view like most human behavior. I don't think that necessarily means, unless you have a bit of proof, that they're actually trying to get trans people killed.
True.
Okay, the copium popping up on the screen there was pretty funny, I gotta say.
Copium.
This is called normalcy bias. It's a really fucking deep-rooted brainworm. Loner wants politics to be this really unscary thing where it doesn't affect him because he actually has to be politically active beyond saying the right thing. He might get hurt. Yeah, it's scary. It would suck if everything about your life was forcibly made political and you had no choice in that matter. It would suck if from the day that you realized you were trans, from the day that you realized something about yourself, people treated you like shit and you were legally discriminated against, you were economically discriminated against, you were targeted online and offline.
And the problem is, the reason I have a problem with the word genocide again is because
you're a
when
coward.
you use that language and you look at the way historically genocides have been responded to and the way that genocides are handled, and the best way to handle genocides is that you've got people in your audiences who are very like vulnerable and are very like scared enough, are very scared as it is. And when you say these people want to kill you,
They do.
you are kind of quietly saying, if someone wants to kill you, the things that you should do in self-defense.
What do you think conservatives are doing, you idiot?
Exactly.
I don't want to be too much of an asshole, but he's sitting here saying that that lefties are dog whistling by calling out a
Yeah.
genocide.
Like,
And
what the
in
hell?
Same conversation in which he pretends that conservatives calling trans people groomers and constantly the biggest conservative channels putting out messaging that they, aka trans people, are coming for your kids.
Exactly.
In the same fucking conversation, this fucking clown is gonna sit here and go, "Oh, you're dog whistling towards violence." What are the conservatives doing then? What are they dog whistling towards? What the fuck? How can you be so stupid? How can you
Exactly.
be so blind? How could you miss this? This conversation is only an hour long. Did you get so lost?
In the sauce.
What the fuck, man?
Lost in the sauce. Literally. Lost in
I'm
the
actually
sauce.
glad that I decided to extend my stream to 7 hours to react to this fucking shit.
Is
Yeah.
run.
You're not
Is
willing to
run.
say they should
No,
do.
well, okay, well,
And I think it's important to call this sort of thing out, okay? I think it's important for me to do the classic reaction of the Demon Mama reaction, okay? I think it's important, you know?
I don't want to violate terms of service, right? People who want to defend themselves, they can
Well,
do
there
it
you
however
go,
they
though.
want.
You just say you don't
But-
want to violate terms of service, though, so we know what you are okay with.
No,
right?
no.
Fed posting asshole. You are a Fed posting asshole.
True.
This is Loner Box trying to make it. This is intimidation. The implication of what he's doing is he's trying to get her to say something that is TOS, as if that's
Yep.
his own.
He's only thinking about a few minutes back, desperately navigating the conversation to win and score dunks. It's why he's changed his argument halfway through. Yeah, because he's just thinking of this as some sort of a debate. This is a game to him. Like, this is like really horrible. And we should move past that, you know?
As if that's an argument in and of itself. No, what he's trying to do is he's trying to say, hey, if you step out of line, if you say something wrong here, your channel's gonna get removed. Your
Exactly.
channel's gonna get removed. Oh, well, we know what you're talking about. And
Yeah.
what she's trying to say is, I don't, like literally throughout this whole conversation, she has said, I don't believe in that. I want to flee.
Yeah.
What a dirtbag shit. What fucking dirtbag bullshit.
What was it, Obsessive Word?
This is so shit. Man, what the fuck? Yeah, here you go, Galley. Dude, what the fuck?
Oof.
No. I do
No?
not want to no. Look,
Oh.
please do not.
Look at what he's trying to do to her. She has not even gone hard on him at all.
She
She's
has
been
not.
nothing but kind. He's trying to say, oh, like you're TOS, you're gonna get your channel taken down? What the fuck, man? What a cowardly, this is straight up, unironically, fucking no joke. Not even kidding you, 100% Chuck from fucking Better Call
Exactly.
Saul behavior.
It's like really horrible.
Can we call him fucking Chuckbox instead?
We can. But I think Loner
What
fits.
if I secretly recorded you and then hid the recording
Wow.
of
Slimy.
you accidentally self-incriminating or confessing to me as your brother, and I use that against you in a court of law? What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Maybe chicanery box? I don't know.
Loner
Fuck
seems
this guy.
like,
This is pathetic, man.
Loner seems fitting.
What are you, a fucking liberal? Yeah, this is some like terminal toxic liberality.
Not push me to this direction. I told you my personal story. I think
Oh, okay,
I told
Jordan.
you,
Academy
Literally,
the
again,
Frog.
I just want to reiterate, just so nobody says that I'm being super mean here.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, Polly P
I don't think she's being super mean here. Like, I think she's being more generous than this showing, like,
explicitly already
Deserves.
said that she doesn't even believe in taking up arms, that she's not a violent person, that she
Yeah.
wants to flee.
Exactly.
So he's just being an asshole and trying to trick her into accidentally Fed posting.
And
When
keep in mind, many, like there were Jewish people in Germany that fled when they saw the writing on the wall before the Nazis took power, okay? Like, let me see. When did Einstein flee
Already
Germany?
been very
When did Einstein flee? When did Einstein leave Germany? March. See? On March 23, the ship docked between Belgium and Einstein immediately reported the German consulate in Brussels, where he turned in his German passport and renounced his citizenship. See? German people fled Germany when they saw the, you know, yeah, because the Holocaust began in 33, you know. There we go. German people fled. And now trans people want to flee. Like, of course. Like, what is Loner Bugs doing? What is this? What is it? What is happening?
clear about her position. This is a dirtbag piece of shit. This is
Like, is Loner Bugs implying that Einstein was calling to violence? A bit.
bad empanada tier tactics.
A bit.
Not that loner box is as bad empanada, but unironically, that's bad empanada.
We'll watch
tier
a bit
tactics.
more of it,
That's
but
the shit that bad empanada does. He goes on debates and tries to get people TOS'd. Pathetic. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Time, many of us are figuring out where the fuck we're gonna run to. Right?
Hey,
like,
welcome back,
that's
Silent.
That's the normal response. Like taking up arms against the state is suicidal, right? Like I
Yeah.
would never advocate that people do that. That seems insane to me.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I would never advocate ever. Never. We are firmly against political violence. We are firmly against resisting the state.
I'm firm.
However,
I'm
I do
cute.
want to quote some literature here,
I am cute.
which is to say, this is our worst enemy, the law. As merciless, cruel, and unrighteous as it is, the law thinks nothing of whatever falls between the arms of its scale. The law does not believe in anything that falls between the black and the white. That's just a quote from literature, guys. Here on this channel, we are firmly no violence.
Law.
Firmly.
I can understand why some people feel
Wow.
like they have to do that, right? But I think that's just mental masturbation, or it's just a way to make yourself feel better about the real reality that they're trying to kill us.
True.
This seems to be, to you, this is a sort
game.
of philosophical debate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I can feel that, and that's really frustrating to me because real trans people don't talk about these ways in the ways that, like, you know, Vosh, for example, does, or the people that talk about, you know, self-defense with fucking arms. That's crazy. Like, that is not going to help us.
I disagree.
The thing
but
that
that's
will
okay.
help us is if you at least call out what is happening, right? Instead of like, you know, saying, well, it's not quite as bad as you think. Like, just because there's some libs that like maybe fall prey to the idea that, you know, there's like an over treatment of gender dysphoria, right?
Wow.
Doesn't mean that the core transphobe
Over-treatment.
wants to do nothing short of eliminate trans people, however that happens.
True.
Just like the fucking Nazis did. They
Exactly.
didn't necessarily need to cart every person off. They were happy
Again,
with immigrants.
just reiterating, the first mass book burnings happened in 1933.
Yeah.
That alone.
Like, I don't know why this is considered even a topic. All you have to do is Google Holocaust, and you can Google, when did Holocaust begin? It will tell you. 33.
Is
Yes.
a physical destruction, a physical attack against Jewish people that was spurred on by right-wing agitation well before 1941 when Lonerbox says it was fair to call it a genocide.
there, which will happen. People will at least move states, right? Because only certain states right now are genocidal. Some states are not. So, forcing people to move out, making people's lives miserable such that they kill themselves.
Yeah.
That's all in the playbook. The core intent of these laws is to kill or eliminate by whatever means necessary.
True. Yes, that is it.
And when you're saying that this is just a philosophical debate for me,
It
a
is.
bit insulting. One of my partners is trans.
Well, too bad. Too bad that you're insulted. It does come off this way. Watching this, I do feel this way, okay? So feel insulted if you want.
I've got
You
trans
know.
people in my community. I've got trans friends who are close to me, and they will say actually, and this is someone who people have come to me like
Don't
complaining
do
about.
it, dude. Please don't do it, dude. Please don't do it. Just stop where you are. Stop while you're ahead. I know he already said it because this is a VOD, but oh my God, here we go.
Vosh,
Yeah.
when he says the genocide thing, is they say that when they hear that, they feel like horrified. They feel like an immovable fear. And then often, I think when I have these discussions with people, is I ask a few people whether or not like, oh, how many states do you think have banned trans healthcare for kids or have tried to?
See, he's
And they'll say,
downplaying
oh, I don't
it.
know, like 30. And there's like 2, and one of them failed. So it's like, and I think giving
Downplaying.
people that impression and giving people that like doom and gloom, because genocide is very doom and gloom. Like,
See? He's just saying it's doom and gloom, it's scary. Like a coward. Like a coward.
I think
Oh, we should just it's just a vibe genocide. We should just
Exactly.
ignore it.
If
Silence
we
says,
ignore
yep,
it,
and we talked
like
about that.
genocide is like a bully. If we ignore it, it will just go away. It will get bored and go away.
Hirschfeld earlier, but to bring it back up again, Magnus Hirschfeld fled Germany in 1933 and then he died in France in 1935.
Same as
Magnus
Einstein.
Hirschfeld's entire life
Many people
was
fled.
persecuted by
Okay,
the entire end.
let's go closer to home, okay? Let's get closer to home because I'm pretty sure Bernie Sanders, Vicky, Bernie Sanders. Let me see. Maybe I'm mistaken. Bernie Sanders' parents. Bernie Sanders' parents. Let me see. Elliot Sanders immigrated to the United States in 1921. Let me see. I think they also escaped discrimination, but I think that was not it. 21.
Of his life was he was persecuted by the Nazis long before when Lonerbox here, Mr. fucking Chuckbox, thinks that was when it was an actual genocide. Don't ruin brunch. Don't ruin brunch, anybody.
I think that can actually like debilitate people as
So
well.
you're just
that's what
tone
I don't like, and I
policing me
I
then.
prefer like
Yeah,
motivation.
basically.
So, no, but you can say, but you were talking as if you're like the genocide thing. It's like me refusing to listen to trans voices and all that. But I can dig up like I can fucking pull forth like
What?
quite a few trans people who don't like the word genocide either. So it's not like
It doesn't matter if they like it.
So it's about not liking the word genocide? Are you okay? We have like no perspective on how fast history moves. We don't. This is ridiculous. This shows so much ignorance.
People can also be in denial.
Yeah,
There's a lot of trans people who don't recognize how bad things are.
exactly.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
you're not a monolith. I'm sure you wouldn't say that.
Okay, all right. So I think I take issue with your two-state number. I mean, I mean, there's many laws that are I don't have the website up, but like there's many laws that exist right now that have been
200
passed in
and
many states,
like,
trying
Specifically about banning about
didn't we put a number on it today? 240 or something laws on the books.
restricting healthcare for kids, right? 2 states succeeded, I think, and one of them got overturned this year.
No. 2 states succeeded at passing a full ban, and both of them were overturned on the federal level.
Exactly.
Thank goodness.
I've
2
noticing
states
this as
succeeded
well.
in banning
Obsessive urge.
all, not just for minors.
As far as I know, unless there's something more recent. Yeah.
I'd have to look at the most recent stuff. It's
It's ridiculous.
okay. Yes, the trans people are not a monolith, but I will tell you this.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, there's many trans people that will not, that don't want to like,
Yeah.
call it a genocide, and that's
And
their-
mind you, being in denial is just like for people for people who are in danger, denial about this can also be a self-defense mechanism. You know, like when sometimes when you're in a really screwed situation, and I would know, you can start telling yourself that maybe things are just not as bad as you think they are, and this also is a form of a self-defense mechanism. So I'm not even sure if it's fair to quote trans people that could say that things maybe are not as bad as they are, because that would be also a form of self-defense, you know, to say that maybe things could be better than they seem, right?
right. You know, because it can be debilitating when you sort
Arkansas.
of look at what's going
Arkansas
on. Like,
was the
you know,
first
like
one,
we
Demon
still have
Speaker.
to live our lives, but
Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly. You have to
somebody
live
like
our
you
lives.
you don't have the
Yeah.
you're not going to be frozen in fear if you really kind of like use the you know, in my judgment, would be
The real
most correct
word.
words to describe
Exactly.
what's going on in a way that people will hear and be like, oh, maybe I should look into this, because I'm not wrong in the way I describe it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You're
think
correct.
That
Super correct.
that proves out when I, you know, it's not we're not just arguing about a word. It seems like we're arguing about what these anti-trans laws are really about and what they are intended to do. It seems like you're unwilling to accept that
Unbelievable liberal
Brain.
naivety, and it's
Yeah.
not naivety. It's just liberalism is fascism is like liberalism's biggest weakness.
Exactly.
Liberalism paves the way for fascism to succeed.
Yeah.
It's just the way it operates. An obsession with the law and inability to react in real time to real threats, because those threats
Yeah.
veil themselves under the veneer of legality until it's
And
too
just going to the
laws are being
whole,
passed because they
you know, hindsight being 2020.
they are dehumanizing us and demonizing us in a way that that is necessary and sufficient to create genocidal intent in a
Yep.
population.
So you're saying it's not over a word, but it is, though. We
It's
agree on
not.
what people should do to stop it. We agree on how bad it is. We agree on where it's happening.
We don't agree on how bad it is.
It is just a
No.
word.
You don't think they're trying to kill trans people?
Exactly. We don't agree on how bad it is. You think that all those conservatives are just misguided, misinformed, well-meaning people. You've said it.
Told me
No,
that
I don't
you
think they're.
Yeah,
wait,
okay.
Wait. Can you tell me which legislator is trying to kill trans people? Are there any specific ones? Any?
Wait a second.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis.
Are you
Also, as I've said, as I wrote in chat when President Sandy was covering this, this is basically like saying that systemic racism does not exist because no laws are explicitly racist. This is basically the loner box version of this.
telling me that the only way I can prove to you that there's a genocide is that if I find a legislator, hook him up to a lie detector, and the legislature says, "Oh, I don't want to kill trans people," and it beeps red, and then you'd be like, "Oh, because you found one legislator and you proved beyond a reasonable doubt that person has genocidal intent."
Ken Paxton,
Like,
Greg Abbott.
Will you then agree it's a genocide? No, you wouldn't even do it then. You'd be like, "Well, that's just one."
Well, I can say with, for example,
There's no way to prove to you.
Wait,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Wait, I can give you a lot of leeway here.
leeway.
So there's like these kind of discussions that they'll ask, like when it comes to studying like in law, like genocide, they'll say,
In law,
can we see genocidal
law.
intent in Hitler before 1941? And some people will say yes, because he's talking about removal by any means, even though there's no sign that he wants to kill people.
He's saying the law doesn't literally say we want trans people dead. Yeah, exactly. This is the same argument that people say when they try to claim that systemic racism doesn't exist. Hey, the law does not explicitly discriminate against black people. How can you say that the systemic racism against black people exists? Like, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's like, well, if you want to remove millions and millions of people, how
Some
else are you gonna do
people
that
would
apart from
say
killing
there
them?
was no
Or that's why they would
genocidal
say-
intent after
but that's how- no.
1945. Like
That's how you-
it doesn't matter.
That's how you would say. That's how you would say that there was warnings of genocide. There was plenty of it.
course
I say
there-
that. I would say
of
there
course.
was. I would say you couldn't say.
See, you just can look. It's easy to look back and like to be able to smugly like, oh yeah, it was obvious. All the signs were there, but they're not here now. Ridiculous.
Well, of course.
What did I just say? Wait. What did I just say?
Okay, so what I think you said is that Hitler had genocidal intent before. Wait, when would you say when would you say the genocide of the Jews actually happened? Or
1933.
No. That's not, the
1933.
question is whether or not the intent.
He already
when the
answered
intent
this.
showed.
Wait,
right?
wait. Just to be clear, he already answered this. He said that he believes the genocide began in 1941,
Which is
according to
like
his previous
delusional.
statement. Maybe he
Ridiculous.
can retract that, but he didn't.
Well, now I'm
should.
interested
He
in your
hasn't yet.
answer to
He
my.
desperately should detract this because, like, this is factually incorrect.
My question.
Well, the signs of the
Actually.
intent were there from like 1919 when Hitler wrote that
Yeah,
thing about removal.
yeah, but when would you
End of the
say?
war.
When would you say, according to you? When do you?
Are you
When
trying
would
to
you
get?
say
Wait, are
the
you trying to get me
genocide
into a gotcha
happened?
to say when the genocide started?
Oh no! The debate tactics. Oh, you're trying to get me into a gotcha. Oh my god, I hate this.
Well, I want to know.
Gotcha! What is this? What is this mostly software? What are you? A effing liberal? Law? Wait, where's the sound?
What are you, a fucking liberal?
What?
Law! Law! What are you?
True. Well said.
Your answer. It's not.
Law!
So if I say
Law!
anything later than- no, you are.
I am the law!
If I say
Law!
anything- If I say anything later than
We need another meme. This calls for another meme. That classic meme. There we go.
You could never control yourself. What makes you think you can control these things?
True.
You be head of the council. You choose. And you choose quickly, too.
I should have put you down myself.
True.
You know, I never understood that. Why did you judge me? Why did you judge me?
You killed innocent people.
The means to an end.
You started a massacre.
I caused the revolution.
You betrayed the law.
Law! Betrayed this! Your council's experiment, which failed!
Ah! You betrayed the law! Law! There we go. This is what we need in the edit.
in 1932 when the Nazis got elected,
Ah!
you've got a dunk, right? That's the kind of level we're operating at right now.
Oh, yeah. This is all about dunks. Poly people definitely came here to score dunks against the loner bugs because this is, to her, that's the most important thing. Not the fact that there's a genocide happening against trans people. She's all in here for the dunks. True. Like this, like, it's all about the dunks, isn't it? Like, this is so ridiculous. Slam dunk.
You unwilling to answer the question?
My man, dude, don't even try. Don't even try to high horse. You did the whole fucking I'm gonna try and get your stream TOS thing
Exactly.
for no reason earlier on. And now you're trying to act smug when she asks you a very direct question because you think
Yeah.
that you got gotcha'd because your argument is fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Problem, dude, this is so sloppy.
No, I'm not willing. I think the genocide started in 1941.
Ridiculous, and he's doubling down on his historical illiteracy. He's doubling down. Please read about the Holocaust. Please do us all a favor and stop talking about the topics that you have no clue about.
In 1941.
Yeah, thank you, Yasmin, for the $5. Yasmin says, are you trying to get me in a gotcha like me trying to gotcha you with Fed posting? How dare you, you uppity trans girl?
Okay, so
Exactly.
so if you were
Man, Lonerbox really fucked this one up.
Exactly, he did.
Lonerbox had a debate with this content creator I wasn't familiar with before named Poly People.
Well, now we are.
And
If there's one good thing that's coming out of this whole thing, that we are learning about poly people, and then we can spread the love for poly people, okay? Like, share the love. We will give her a follow. We will, we will lead people her way, and we can, make her more known. That is one good thing out of this whole thing.
Wait, what's it on? What's it on?
whether or
We
not
can
there's a
grow
trans
together.
genocide. And his position is embarrassingly bad. And
There's not.
yeah, he says not, and there isn't any intent either.
Wow.
It's bad. It's and his what's worse, even no, I wouldn't say it's worse than his argument because the argument is pretty bad. But what's worse is the way that he's approached the conversation,
Yeah, it's
which is to
horrible.
be a giant cunt to somebody who's been nothing but respectful for him, like literally no dunking on her side whatsoever. And he was just like, oh well, if you're saying there's a genocide going on right now, well,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about you, but I would.
That's what I told you earlier, that it's like sort of like not really a debate. It's just loner bugs being like debate brainy and poly people just basically making her case.
The Jews assassinating Hitler. So what are you saying? Are you saying that you do you want them to assassinate the president? Is that what you want? Literally doing that type of
Yeah.
shit. Like, oh, don't you think that shouldn't you say that you're willing to support the assassination of public figures? And she's like, no. What are you talking about? First of all, why are you trying to like TOS me? And secondly, no, I don't believe in that. I want to
chill.
flee. I want to go somewhere safe. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And now he's getting super mad that she said, so when do you think that the genocide against the Jews started? He's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're trying to get me in a gotcha. You're trying to get me in a gotcha. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
That's weird. That's
Oh, we got to finish this and then I'll be done. I've been
Dough
way
is
too long.
nice.
I know.
I was like, damn, I took a nap and you're still going.
I know.
Dough is like I should be like more bitter. Dough is like has nice voice. I am bitter and jealous, Like Dough, it makes me bitter and jealous. Like because ducks are bitter and jealous creatures, and when I hear Dough's voice, it makes me bitter and jealous. I bet it makes sense, right? That I am bitter and jealous about Dough's voice. It makes me jealous. Okay? Yeah, that was. Oh, I think in some ways RGR was actually better. And I think in some ways like the RGR was worse towards though, because RGR did the whole thing at the very end. Really? Okay, I will do my best. Instead of being angry and jealous, I will just put all my energy into voice training. Polly is usually more aggressive on like panels and other debates, but she knew he was a bigger creator. She wanted to keep it civil, and it worked to highlight how shit his argument is. Yeah. Plus, let's keep in mind that theoretically speaking, theoretically speaking, like Honor Box is supposedly an ally. You know? Yeah, RGR though thing was really embarrassing. I was very glad to have been an expat of the round table by that time. Yeah. Yeah, this like we're gonna have to talk about that some more. Like RGR destroyed a really amazing community, nuked it out of orbit. Like okay, this is non-related. Let's leave that talk about that for some other day.
I've been very bad. I've been very bad. I'm so bad. Mama bad. Mama bad. Mama bad. Mama bad.
Mother.
Camera. You're too far over.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, I'll
Mother.
okay, I promise. And then we'll smoke that weed, okay? Because I really need that after this shit.
Oh, mother.
This
Mother
goes back to our earlier point, right? If you were on the ground in pre-war Germany in 1940, you would argue that there was.
So I will tell you, if you'd have been on the ground in 1940, Germany. So, if you were in Germany in 1940, then you would have been locked in the German ghetto, okay? You would have been locked in the German ghetto, and you would have been dying on the street from starvation. That would have been happening, okay? You would have been walled off in a ghetto, and you would have been dying. So what is this like? What is going on here?
Wasn't a genocide of the Jews going on, even though like Hitler had already invaded Poland.
Wait, hold on a second. This is really funny. Somebody in Poly People's chat says the final solution was not the start of the genocide. That's such an excellent point.
Yeah.
The Nazis literally called it the final solution, implying they had tried other solutions before. Oh God. Oh, liberals are so lost.
There were,
liberals are so lost.
There was already like, well, I guess there wasn't there was already laws being passed trying to eliminate.
You would say that it was set in motion, like the conditions were laid for it. They were on.
They literally made the place uninhabitable for non-binary people in 5 minutes. It was wild and very sad. Yeah, like
there was law. No, but like there were already Jews dying.
That's if this was a conversation only about the Holocaust, all of this would be considered genocide denial.
True.
Because it is. Because it's downplaying the very real threat. We only have this in hindsight because the Holocaust happened.
People were fleeing Germany in the 30s.
Is because when you're talking about the Holocaust, it already happened.
Exactly.
This one is ongoing. If we were to pretend that it was 1939 and the formal Holocaust had not begun, and this argument happened, and he was making the same arguments, and we were to look at that, we would say that's genocide denial.
Yep.
Because there were Jews at the time. It just wasn't done in the way that you would specifically call a genocide.
Yes, that's why we have a definition of genocide. Yeah, if they're dying, if people die because
Actually, we have many definitions of genocide, to the degree that the UN has more than one definition of genocide. We've already looked at this during my stream. You guys all know this. But yeah, just being clear in responding to
people die because of systemic discrimination. That's not genocide. No.
How is that not genocide? If people die as a result of systemic discrimination,
exactly.
The definition of genocide. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. This is pathetic.
Can we just? Can you just
under color of law?
Wait.
Yeah, law.
Sorry, I just want to do a debunk. I'm feeling a little paranoid.
Yeah, why,
because I know
right.
people are going to react to this, and I want
Exactly.
to prove to you what I'm talking about.
These-
I just had this up.
Einstein the snowflake.
Hold on, let me just show you again, one more time, just so that we're clear. I'm gonna show this up right here. What he just said was that a law that legal discrimination that leads to death is not genocide. I'm sorry, but the UN literally disagrees with you.
Exactly.
Deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. This is Article 2 of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. Going slower, Article 2 of the Genocide Convention narrows it, also including deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group. Loner Box is wrong.
Incorrect.
Loner Box is wrong even by his own definition.
Yeah.
This is phenomenally stupid.
Just admit to me
and
right
really
now that when you
dangerous
say
rhetoric
genocide,
as
you
well.
don't actually mean a term that can be defined and boundaries can be set and stuck
Dude,
to.
shut
You
the
just
fuck
want
up, man. Man, shut the fuck up. What an asshole.
True.
This dude is being such a fucking dick. This poly people has not been rude or dunked on him even in a little bit.
Even
He's being
once.
a smug, sarcastic piece of shit when this girl over here is pouring out her heart about her genuine concerns of genocide. She's not making personal attacks against him. She's just trying to convince him that, yes, we should be willing to call it what it
Yeah.
is. And he's being a smug fucking prick about it.
Like, I don't even know what to
as a
say.
rhetorical flourish. That's the only justification you're giving me for using the term right now.
No, hold on a second, because I'm surprised. So like I'm surprised. You know, I guess I could be. Hey, I'm willing to be wrong here. But I would be surprised if it is a commonly accepted point of view that the German genocide of the Jews didn't start until 1941.
Exactly.
That seems.
He reiterated that twice.
I'm just gonna say it here. No, it's not. The generally held fact is that it started in 1933.
Idiotic position.
Literally
Google it.
impossible to me.
Google it.
When, according to what, like legal definitions, or just like using the words kind of like, I don't know.
The way people
Google it.
use the
Commentating on
word
other-
the way people
common
use the
parlance.
word genocide to describe
Nope.
genocide.
Not in common
Yeah,
parlance.
If you want to,
parlance, yes.
okay, what?
Okay, okay,
Nope.
wait.
If you
Nope. In all of literature about the Holocaust, you just don't know what you're talking about.
want to communicate with people, what's going? Okay, do you think that the average? Oh my God.
Okay, hold on. I just want to blow him out again one more time. Just so we're clear, the UN Convention on Genocide was not even put into law until December 9th, 1948. Let's just rewind here. I just want you guys to hear how fucking right I am and how fucking right poly people is on this. Listen to this real quick. Let's just listen to this back. Listen up.
Didn't start until 1941. That seems literally impossible to me.
It's when, according to what, like legal definitions, or
According to what legal definitions? Guess what, bitch? The legal definition you're using, the Holocaust at the time could not be considered a genocide because the UN fucking assembly on genocide did not happen until December 9th, 1948.
Like,
What are you talking about?
if you don't know things, just educate yourself. Like, it's the knowledge is there.
What a stupid argument. Literally legal-brained, so stupid. This is fucking... I am so disappointed with this. Oh
True.
God! I
Same.
hope this is just a one-off. I hope he eats crow on this and says, "Wow, I really fucked this up."
just like
Wow.
using the
shit.
word.
So far, he's doubling
I don't
down.
know.
So
The way
I don't
people
know.
use
Commentating
the
on
word
other-
the way people
common
use the word
parlance.
genocide to describe genocide, like.
Yeah, common
If you want
parlance,
to,
yes.
okay, what?
Okay, wait,
if you want to
so-
communicate with people, what's going? Okay, do you think that the average? Oh my God. Okay, so when you
You want to go one further?
I
You want to
do.
go one further?
I do
You
wanna
ready?
go
You
one
ready to go
further.
one step further?
I am ready.
Genocide is the intentional destruction of a people, usually classed
I
as
am ready to
ethnic,
go
national, racial,
further
or religious, in
beyond.
whole or in part. Raphael Lemkin coined the term in 1944. The term genocide did not even exist at the time that he's talking about. So all of this stupid semantic nonsense is a bunch of fucking hot air. The definition didn't even exist, so it wouldn't fucking matter if you called it a genocide or not. The terms, the legal terms, didn't exist at the time. Loner Box's argument is so upside down in this conversation. It's so ass backwards.
True.
Just, oh my God, man.
You're getting very flustered over absolutely nothing here, by the way. But
Dude, shut the fuck up. What a dumb.
Exactly, we
Dude,
decide.
Shut the fuck up. You're fucking smugly condescending to this girl.
Exactly.
Who's been nothing but nice to you this entire fucking time. Who's actually talking about an issue that affects her, and your stupid smug ass is not only dead goddamn wrong.
Yeah,
Lonerbox is not only dead goddamn wrong, he's being a fucking stupid smug prick about it.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely what the fuck, man?
Horrible showing. Like, what is this performance?
You want flustered? How's this for fucking flustered? How's this for fucking flustered? You want to come talk to me? Let's talk about it, buddy. I'll be a whole lot meaner. You want to hear? You want the spice? You want the fire?
go on.
Idiot.
I'm not sure there's I don't know if there's much more for us to talk about. I mean, I think I understand what you're saying.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if there was something I had in my back pocket?
What is
Anybody want to guess when the first concentration camp for Jewish people, communists, and other dissidents opened? Anybody want to guess? Can we get a guess?
I want to guess.
Oh.
I want to guess.
Oh.
I want to guess.
22nd of March, 1933. But guess what? According to Lonerbox.
But guess what? According to what we understand about the Holocaust, it actually started in January. Okay?
The genocide didn't start until 1941. What a moron.
Okay.
Dachau. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, well, more
I
or
apologize.
less.
I've literally never
More
heard
or less.
that
Dachau,
word said
yeah,
out
more
loud,
or
I don't
less
think, or at least I
correctly.
haven't in my memory.
More or
Dachau?
less
Dachau?
Dachau,
Dachau, whatever. First concentration camp opened on 22nd of March, 1933. The camp was initially intended to intern Hitler's political opponents, which consisted of communist, social democrats, and other dissidents.
Yep.
Lonerbox, you are so fucking wrong. You owe a gigantic apology to poly people who not only treated you with more respect than you treated her with, but also who blew you the fuck out with facts, logic, and reason. And all you had was fucking whimpering, fucking blubbering liberal bullshit, my man.
True.
Fucking
Come on.
bullshit.
Come on, Gigla. Come on.
You're gonna go and tell your chat now that I downplayed the fucking Holocaust, or that I
You
that
did,
I
you
don't...
stupid idiot. You fucking moron. You did. It's not her fault that you were an idiot. It's not her fault that you fucking suck so much dick at your job that you came on here and fucking blew it. It's not her fault that you came on here completely and utterly prepared and accidentally did a little bit of a whoopsie doopsie Holocaust downplaying.
True.
Serious, man? It's not fucking her fault. It's yours.
It is.
You
It's
fucked
on
up.
you.
You got everything wrong. You did a oopsie doopsie.
Yep.
Own it, man. Fucking own it.
respect trans people or whatever. That's what you're gonna do, right?
What?
Well, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like I didn't force you to say the things you said.
What did I say? Can you say it back to me? What's the soundbite?
Okay. So the difference between you and me in this discussion, it seems to me you're like I'm really trying to share with you, a real fear of what is going on. At least
because it is. It is genocide. It is Holocaust denial.
There's a genocide going on. They are trying to eliminate trans people by whatever means necessary. it seems to me you're stuck in debate land. Like
Exactly,
you're worrying about
debate land.
chunks,
Well
you're worrying about
said.
clips. You're worrying about definitions, and
Yeah.
that's what makes me feel like you're not.
Like, word, you are stuck in debate land, literally. Clips, dunks, definitions.
Your mind isn't where it needs to be on this issue.
Exactly.
We agreed with everything.
Amazingly.
With urgency,
All right,
with it came
okay.
to policy.
No.
Hey,
You said we agreed on all that.
No.
You're just upset
I
about
don't
the
think
words.
no.
And I'm the one getting hung up on
Okay,
words.
okay. I'm gonna back it up again. It's not just a word. You are failing to recognize what the intent is behind these laws.
Exactly.
You're
This
saying that
isn't
because
debate brain. This isn't even debate brain, guys. Let's be honest. It's doing a disservice to people who have debate brain. This is not debate brain. This is I'm so wrong and so smug at the same time.
True.
This is
So
I'm
wrong.
literally doing a live reenactment of the liberal people from fucking South Park. The sniffing their own farts and dragging behind them a cloud of smug.
True.
This isn't even debate brain. This is like literally
But it is a
liberal
bit.
brain rot. It's callous. He's being smug, a smug asshole to someone who wasn't rude to him at all. He was wrong. He's wrong. This entire time, I've been literally putting on screen the ways
That's
in which
really sad to hear, mostly software.
she's wrong.
because there might be a
the intent that you don't even have like conjecture to show me, right? Like
I don't know.
Well, you know what? Guess what? It's a good thing that Demon Mama reviewed this debate, huh?
True. Isn't it
Because
great?
in your live debate format, she couldn't bring up a quote off the cuff of a politician who was doing it, but I did. I brought up numerous examples.
Exactly.
I literally showed on screen what right-wing politicians are currently pushing. So while she couldn't do it, nope, she didn't do anything wrong. She was clearly aiming to have a conversation and not this type of fucking bullshit debate. But Mama's got your back, all right?
Exactly.
Because you're right.
Oh, I don't know what you want from me. Like.
okay, I just want to summarize. I'm sorry.
Making trans people's lives unlivable on purpose.
This is really nice to hear, by the way. This is like, I love this sentiment. I've got your back, you know? I love this
Will
sentiment.
kill us and has been killing us.
Love to see it.
Okay, so just to summarize, okay? So our disagreement about the trans thing, the substance of it is that I don't think Republicans are legislating in the way that they are because they're trying to kill trans people en masse, right?
Right.
Once again, let me just reiterate, he doesn't think that conservatives are trying to kill trans people, but he does think that trans people who say that there's an ongoing genocide are trying to kill Republicans.
Exactly. Ridiculous. Like, he's basically playing defense. He's basically...
That was what he just said just a few minutes ago. I just want to reiterate that. Just want to be clear. He's doubling down on that position.
That's the disagreement there, right? That's
a basically pro-Republican position.
I mean, you kind of lost me. I'm
You're lost in the sauce.
I don't know what else there is to talk about, to be honest. I mean, I think we both made our points. And
so just to summarize.
No. You don't have to recharacterize the discussion because I think it's very clear. And I want you to do this. I want you to reconsider what the burden of proof on somebody like me should be when the obvious intent is what it is. I'm flabbergasted that you're sort of unwilling to accept the obvious import of the passing of laws that on their face are designed to make trans people's lives unlivable.
Yeah.
Okay, so we disagree on the intent. Okay. You
we
think
do a lot more.
Okay. I think
or they don't give a fuck about it, which is the same.
Okay. You disagree on a lot
give a
more.
fuck about it?
No, I'm saying they don't give a fuck about it.
Oh,
okay. And that is there's not a dime's worth of difference about not caring that trans people are dying and specifically wanting
them to die,
trans people to die, because some of them would be happy if we died. Some of them don't care, but
Yeah,
but it
it's
is the
the same.
dehumanization that is the calling us groomers, making us seem like we're dangerous. All of that taken as a whole, it shows very, very clear
What's going
genocidal
on?
intent.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it would take to get you to use the word. It's too bad that you're not already using it, but I think the problem is deeper than just I'm sticking to a dictionary definition of the word, because you're not even willing to accept the extent of the problem.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yes. Yes. He was
Absolutely.
wrong even on the dictionary definition.
He was
I
wrong
have
on the
shown that
history. He was
throughout
wrong on
this-
everything.
Throughout my review, obviously in a live debate format, it's much harder to actually show on screen the literal code of the UN, but I did. Once again, Mama's got your back, like I said.
Oh, I thought we agreed on the extent of the problem, right?
No, we don't.
I think the extent of the problem is that people are like, yeah, the legislation will probably
Exactly.
get more people killed, right? Yeah. I think we can agree perfectly
If
with
the
what the problem
legislation
is.
is
Yeah, but you're
killing
like,
people.
don't call the legislators names. You know, they're just good people that are.
Lucy's got the back.
Get the fuck
I don't
outta
think they
here
were
with
good people.
that.
I
You
think
know,
they're
like,
pretty bad people. I think they're pretty
Lucy agrees with Mother having her back.
awful people.
Well,
I don't think they have genocidal. I don't think they're trying to kill people en masse. Yeah.
all right,
that's-
so
You
so,
just said that the
so,
laws are going to get people killed.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. all
Yes,
right. Hey,
please, Ren.
It was
Please,
great to meet you,
Ren,
though.
go right ahead.
You know, I'm glad that we got to talk.
What the fuck does this guy, not to be idpol, but what the fuck does this guy know about how terrifying it is to be trans? Gallet, earlier on, he said, I have trans friends, unironically.
Yeah. And
Renophilia says,
she
I
was
migrated from
doing.
YouTube to say, that wasn't the first genocide the Nazis did. The Nazis first killed disabled people in state-run hospitals, purely for containment and elimination of disabled people, starting in 1939. They ran propaganda calling disabled people tax burdens, and they were deemed life unworthy of life.
Yeah, but remember that the Holocaust started in 1933. Okay?
Thank you for that. That is actually very valuable context. I hadn't even brought that one up yet. Thank you.
Like, they targeted many groups, okay?
Yeah,
many groups.
just one more. Can you summarize my opinion on the Holocaust?
I wouldn't.
It's terrible.
I wouldn't try.
I
wouldn't try.
When do you think, if I had to say, when do I think the Allies should have intervened and stopped Nazi Germany? When do you think I would have said that they should have done it, before or after they did?
What a weasel! What
this is not
weaselly bullshit!
This is not what our debate was about.
Yeah, but I did tell you. I want to see if, like, I told you a thing, right? I gave you a position. I just want to see if you actually want
Ridiculous.
to characterize me fairly.
Mr. Krabs with the $5 says, when the trans genocides happen, they will go after me and neurodivergent people and Hispanics,
Exactly.
Black, etc. Meanwhile, loner
I
box
agree. Like, I really hope that as well. That it's a business relationship.
will say, why didn't you warn us? Yeah, it's pretty. This is honestly a really bad showing. This is easily the worst showing I've ever seen
Of
with my own
Lonerbox.
eyes of Lonerbox. And I've seen a lot of Lonerbox's content.
I've seen a bit. And it wasn't this
And yes, I agree with you, Mr. Krabs. It's true. People will act surprised as though there weren't people literally telling them, begging them to their face. Literally, poly people the entire time has not been toxic. The poly people is nicer than I have ever been on my show.
Well,
I am way more spicy and
think
way
I'm
more
nice as
confrontational
well.
than poly people was.
I think I'm
Poly
pretty
people
nice.
has done nothing but essentially plead and make a case. And this motherfucker tried to fucking pull TOS bullshit on her. Fuck this guy.
True. Yeah.
You told me that.
I told you when I
told me
thought the
that-
Allies should have invaded.
You told me that.
Gone to war with Germany.
And now
You
he's
told
trying
me
to
that
pull some stupid
armed
bullshit.
invasion
Exactly.
would be appropriate at the time a genocide was happening, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I said before that.
All right. Okay. Well, you would have done an armed
said when
invasion
the
before
first-
that, but the genocide didn't happen until 1941. But you would do an
said-
invasion before that.
I said they should
I don't
have
care
gone
about
in
this
when the first
part, my
camp was
dude.
opened.
True.
I
didn't force you to say
You do
anything,
care.
okay.
Wait.
Okay. All right.
True.
Will you let me go now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is so sad.
Bye.
Yes, like, let's just let. Like, there's a famous quote in Polish literature when there's like this beaten protagonist, and he says, just finish it and spare me the humiliation. And this feels like it, okay? That felt like that sad moment in the book by a Polish author that's basically just finish it, spare me this humiliation. This is
Spoiler
embarrassing.
What's it called? Double like this. It's that thing.
Okay,
Those
I
things.
guess
You put two of
we're
them.
not gonna go further into this. Like, we're gonna spend the 4 minutes, like maybe discussing things among ourselves. I'm gonna bring back the audio for the game, and then sadly I will have to finish the stream, and I will raid you to my best friend who is streaming right now. So